Okay, you guys, welcome back to the channel. So, you already know today is Conspiracy Day. So, we are about to, hop into some conspiracies, ask a couple questions. I don't know, but this video is already about like an hour long that I put together, that I compiled for us over here. So, let me go ahead and start the video because, I be yapping. So, it's already going to be longer than an hour.
Incredible Hulk in the cartoons, they say he was hit with gamma radiation. Now, this is where it get crazy. The truth about radium. You ever heard about radium? Radium was used over 25 years in health. It was added in water, toothpaste, butter, food, and cosmetics
I gotta look this up. And what book is this that he got? Is what I was really wondering.
as well. Radium cured many diseases like breast cancer, diabetes, sciatica.
Now, yeah, I know I already said on one of my previous videos that I believe it's a cure to all of this stuff, like a lot of us do, but
and even impotence. Radium was viewed as the secret of life in the early 20th century. After 20 plus years, the controllers pushed the scam story of radium girls to demonize radium so they bring in their pharmaceutical monopoly to the world. Damn. 50 of 4,000 radium workers allegedly died from radium, but they was just using radium for 20 some plus years. In reality, these girls were dying from syphilis. If radium was the cause of these deaths, radium would have killed not 50, but all 4,000 of these workers, along with millions throughout the years. Yet in reality, there is not a single proof that meant that any of these people died from radium. Radium comes from uranium. A physicist by the name of Galen Windsor debunked the nuclear scam. By consuming uranium, he proved to the world that uranium and radium is indeed safe.
yeah, I gotta see that. Like, I'm somebody else gotta, be the one to prove it to us, because now we just can't have people around here consuming. What you say, uranium and all of that, believing everything they see on the internet. Yeah, no, you gotta make a believer out of me. Like, let me see. Let me see. Nuh-uh.
Oh my God! The truth about radium. If the Incredible Hulk allegedly was shot,
But we already know. A lot of us already know by now. They be putting the truth in these movies. All right, especially when it comes to that spirituality stuff. That's coming up in the video too. But
up with gamma radiation, why y'all think they ain't dropped a nuke over here yet? Do you realize if they literally drop a nuke on our people, do you realize?
no, I don't want to realize. no, no, I don't. No, don't make a believer out of me. I'm scared. Like, you can keep the nuke.
Realize how strong we are getting? Listen to me. Listen. Uranium is a binder because our people are covered internally and externally with melanin. The original people. What do you think that would do to our immune system? What do you think we would turn into? That's why they ain't dropped it. You think Incredible Hulk was a problem? Think about an entire nation of Incredible Hulks. Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. See? You can't unsee it now. These are actual clippings of the uses of radium. They was using this in real life, fam.
Who got more information on this? Like I said, I'm gonna look this up and go down the whole little rabbit hole of this in my own like spare time whenever I get that type of spare time. But I don't know. Let us know if y'all got who got more information on this. Like, is this like, is he for real?
This ain't no hearsay. We used to drink radium in whiskey. Look at this. Aged 30 days by radiation. Listen, man.
Welcome, Golly Vibes fam, my brothers and sisters. We are back, and today's story is going to get interesting. Anton LaVey, ladies and gentlemen, the founder of the Satanic Church, Now, listen, I know a lot of people have heard different stories of how this man passed away, right? We had the story of he was on his hospital bed and he was going out of consciousness and he started seeing something and he was like, whoa, whoa, what have I done? What have I done? That is not how he actually passed away. Sorry. We have the truth here today from the people who are actually there, right? For the people who are actually there, you guys, we have the truth here today. A man named Dave Bryan, a pastor named Dave Bryan, actually took in this man's daughter. Right? I'm gonna show you guys a video right now too. Very interesting. You guys are gonna be blown away. This guy right here, Dave Bryan, that's his wife, an interceder. And he took Anton's daughter in, right? I mean, listen, this whole story is mind blowing. I'm gonna let you guys see a little video of him talking about the whole story. You know, Daniloveely was a super Satanist. And it's very sad, the story you're about to hear was with his daughter and what he did with his children. So, you know, just a fair warning, if this type of stuff affects you, then just cut this video off right now. Hey man, let's go ahead and check it out though. From Dave Bryan himself.
In the astral realm, and especially in witchcraft, if a witch goes out on the astral plane, astral projecting, and stays too long or something goes wrong and their silver cord breaks or is cut and they can't get back into the body. And so they're trying to re-enter the meat sack, right? The body. And they can't get back in. And so they call it bouncing. And she said, Anton bounced. And I said, we were praying to cut his silver cord. She said, well, I came too, and Anton had left her, his spirit man had left her and was trying to get back into his body and wasn't able to. Well,
Now, just to break down the context right here, because this is I'm only showing you guys a 7-minute video, but this is a 3-hour video, and I watched the whole thing. Break down context. He's talking about Daniloveely's spirit man leaving his daughter. The daughter that I told you guys that he took in. Her name is Ray LeVay. He took in Anton's daughter, you know, and was casting things out of her every night at 2 o'clock, you know, before he even knew who she was. He thought her name was Ramona at first. But then, you know, on the way to a different state, I think it was India.
She fell out on the floor, flipped upside down, boom, boom, boom. And so my wife recorded it, jumped on top of her command. I said, you know, command the demons to come out, boom, boom, boom. They came out. She sat up in the chair, sitting there. We were all in the bedroom. Cause she in her house, 26-year-old girl. And then I'm telling you what I saw. We were just sitting there. All of a sudden, I saw something. I can't explain it. It's like the air took on a form and it came right through the ceiling. Went into that girl. She flipped upside down and tried to bang herself against the bed to try to kill herself. And this is where it got crazy. Jumped on top of the girl. And, you know, you can have different approaches. My approach is always to the demon, what is your name? So what is your name? He said, my name is Jason. I said, that's a stupid name for a demon. He said, you the one stupid. I'm human.
See, now that's that's a different one. I done said this on here a couple times before. I do not, you know, practice a specific religion. Of course, I was raised Christian and stuff like that. But I don't, you know, I don't practice a specific religion, but I do believe, you know, that obviously, which we can see, there's good, there's evil, and there's definitely a spirit realm and things that are going on outside of what most people can perceive in regular everyday life, right? So yeah, that's a new one. I've not ever heard of a human being able to take over somebody.
He said the demons couldn't get the job done. They too weak for y'all. So I came to kill her myself. So Satan was getting witches, humans, to lay their bodies down. It's called astral projection. Lay their bodies down. You travel. It's a strange scripture in the Ecclesiastes, the Song of Solomon. It talks about the silver cord of life. Yeah, in astral projection, they teach you when you come out of your body, there's a silver cord. If you go too far and it snaps, you go straight to hell. You can't get back to your body. See, the church don't know nothing about this. This is what we deal with every day. Okay? So you want to hear something crazy? Ooh, it's going to get me in trouble. When a human spirit has taken over a spirit, the name of Jesus doesn't work. Because you and I got free will, demons don't. They got to come out in the name of Jesus. Second time it happened, the girl is in our bedroom, because it's a huge bedroom. My wife is sitting right there. I'm sitting right here. The girl is sitting on the floor. We're just ministering to her. All of a sudden, she does this.
I'm out of there.
She opens her eyes, and it's a man in her body. Real man. Astral projected all the way from Virginia. My wife is hilarious. She keeps it professional.
Okay.
I'm the one that's ghetto engaged. Astral projected from another state. I'm looking at this man in this girl's body, and I'm looking at my wife. All right, who are you? He identified himself. He said, your wife know who I am. I said, you know this fool? She said, yeah, this is the guy from such and such, 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 such. He was a lawyer over a case with this girl. Hijacked her body to help me win the case because of somebody else that he didn't like on the case. And so what stunned me is not that he hijacked her body, because you can't get in my house in the spirit. Impossible to get in my house in the spirit.
Well, wouldn't that mean that he got in there in the spirit? I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Impossible. It's a fortress. Unless someone is in there and Satan can breach it. Mm-hmm. Some of your listeners are like, what is he talking about? Just hang on. You'll be back. We'll be back with the simple stuff in a second. And so what stunned me was not that he hijacked her body. What stunned me was the buzzing of the two angels that had showed up behind me with shields, similar to like you see in Doctor Strange. You could hear it. Mm-hmm. They were there instantly. And so then I started coming to my senses because I was in shock. I said, first of all, if you have a message for me, that's what email is for. I said, second of all, I said, if you ever do this again, I will kill you. I said, I'm telling you. And I said, I know you see what's behind me and I can do it easily. I'm going to assume that you are too ignorant to understand who I am when it comes to being a son of God. Because what you did to this girl, you know it's impossible for you to do that. I mean, he just glared at me, man. And for 25 minutes, I threatened his life and preached the gospel. This sounds so weird.
Well, how is it impossible for him to do that, sir, if he just did it? I mean, am I tripping? Or, I mean, am I not following along with the story, I guess?
Weird. Because it's a human spirit, not demon. Preach the gospel, threaten his life. Preach the gospel, threaten his life for about 20, 25 minutes. I remember one of the things that I said, so I encourage you to read the Bible for yourself because you don't have real power. I said, if you had a real power, you could do something to me. So you need to read the Bible for himself. He said, I read it. I didn't get anything out of that. I said, oh, that's right. I forgot dead men can't see. Last thing I told him is, I said, so this will be the last time you do this. I said, you understand what I'm saying? He said, I understand. He said, it will not happen again. I said, I hope so for your life's sake. And then this is what happened. She come back. What happened? Church ain't ready for that. That's real slavery. Not that the guy down the street didn't sell you a home because you.
Church don't talk about a lot of stuff that is, like I said, really going on and pertaining to the, spiritual side of things. But come on.
I warned everyone in previous videos that once you listen to the language, your reality, your life will change and you cannot go back to your former life. I warned everyone and I made it clear. So there should be no reason why there's people in my inbox asking me if there's a way they can go back because the synchronicities are overwhelming and they can't handle it. I specifically said that if you're not mentally prepared for what you will witness after listening to it, don't listen to it because it's real. I had the language for about 7 or 8 months. I practiced with it, I used it, and I started seeing things and seeing the synchronicities. And I wanted to make sure that it was real, so I started sharing with the public. And now that it's out and people are realizing that it's real, And some people have gotten it and lives have changed, and some people have gotten it and now they can't handle the realization of what came with it. And I said, if you spin out of control and you can't handle it, I am not responsible.
You're going to see a giant.
No, well, I'm glad he didn't speak the language or whatever he had going on. Look, 2025, a lot already happened that year. 2025 is that year where, you know, when you hear people say, oh, I'll never forget the year 2025. I never understood that. Well, they don't say I'll never forget the year 2025. My bad. The year of whatever the year is, right? They'll never forget that year because like it was such a big turning point in their life. Like usually it's pertaining to like big crucial moments. Either like really good moments or really, really bad moments, right? Life changing moments that happen in their life. And that 2025 was that year for me. But let me continue this because this is a much needed distraction. I don't want to get into that right now, but eventually I do want to talk about that with y'all is pertaining to like spiritual stuff because it's like people really got to understand that. Let me. I'll get back to that when I'm ready to talk about that.
On her back, she's pregnant. Her left knee is bent.
I can see it. I can see what he's talking about. Don't they call that pareidolia or something like that? But he likes seeing the whole body, but it's like pareidolia is like when you see a face and stuff, right? But you know what that remind me of? That movie. I bought this mic and I don't even know if I'm like talking into it good. But anyways, it reminds me of that movie Moana. Remember Moana? When the mountain was like, it was an actual giant or whatever. You know, they be putting this stuff in the movies. Cause like, where they getting this from?
Her head, that's her breast. Her left knee's bent, her hand, her arm comes down, that's her hand like on her thigh. And her right leg is right there at the end. Her knee, her legs are...
I would hope that's not a giant. Could you imagine a giant being that big? Like that's gotta be, that's bigger than the Titans on Attack on Titan, ain't it? Or about the same. Like, man, hey, Attack on Titan. Man, I need to talk about that show. I need to dedicate a whole video to that show. Cause Attack on Titan, that's another one, man. That show was crazy. Dropping gems. It looked like really they was doing a story about the you know how they talk about the giants in the Bible and stuff like that. Like I don't really know the Bible in depth like that. Like I said, I don't practice a specific religion, whatever. But you know, we all know like pretty much, you know, the same, you know, like general stories or whatever, right? But yeah, Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Open. She's got a pregnant belly.
So if Indians are us, then who is these people in these pictures? I asked ChatGPT that, and ChatGPT was like, them people staged them photos.
Oh, but wait. It gets even more deeper than that. Of course, before I get started, this is only for educational and academic purposes only. Everything I state in this video is based on historical documents and my own research. Do your own research and use your own discernment. This is not misinformation, it's history through another lens. Like she said, if you was to Google Native Americans, look what shows up. For example, let's just Google the Wampanoag Indians who were part of the Algonquian Nation. Look what comes up. You'll be shown light-skinned, straight-hair aesthetic imagery, often called stock photos. Look, in stock. These were created after many of the melanated tribes were displaced, erased, and reclassified on paper. This is Edward Curtis. He worked from the 1900s all the way up into the 1930s, documenting Native Americans across North America. But here's what they don't tell you. He staged almost every photo, documented it as history. He would go on to make over 40,000 photographs, in which are featured in the North American Indian, the largest, longest, and most expensive photographic book series ever attempted. And he worked with people like George Hunt and Upshaw, who was like a translator for these Native Americans. And then if you go on to the bottom, it says Hunt translated, arranged models, and created props while working on Volume 10. Here's another example of his work. Once again, he went on to produce over 40,000 of these stock photos in a 20-volume series, basically not recording reality, but building one. Do you guys know who this person is? This is JP Morgan. Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, what does JP Morgan have to do with all this? JP Morgan was the primary benefactor and investor of Curtis's monumental photographic project, the North American Indian. Now, if you know what I know about JP Morgan, if you know, you know. Anything this guy touched had a hidden agenda behind it. I mean, come on, he backed the Federal Reserve. He literally owned the Titanic. Oh, yeah, didn't know? He owned the company called the White Star Line, in which that company built the Titanic. JP Morgan owned the White Star Line through his shipping trust, which he formed in 1902 to monopolize Atlantic shipping. While the White Star Line operated as a British company, it was subsidiary of Morgan's American-controlled conglomerate, which directly owned the RMS Titanic. Funny how he was supposed to be one of the passengers on the Titanic, but then suddenly fell ill. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole. So let's
Look, because I was itching to talk. Okay, I'm trying to let my girl talk. She doing her thing. It's so much that I want to talk to y'all about, like on this channel on our Let's Talk sessions on Fridays. This is one of them. I'm actually going to dedicate like a whole video to this. But what I want to say is it is so crazy that people think that this is so hard for them. I don't even, it's not even that it's hard for them to wrap their mind around it, y'all. It's just they don't want to believe it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we still over here trying to, well, I don't know about no we, but you know, our folks are still out here trying to get these people to give our folks reparations. Again, some stuff that's old, and then they turn around and tell us, oh, that happened a long time ago, forget it, whatever, right? But anyways, a lot of us already know this. A lot of us already know who the real and true indigenous people of this land is. We were told by our grandparents, not all of us, because like they say, all kinfolk ain't skinfolk. A lot of us were already told by our moms, our grandparents, that information was passed down. But it's also like when they telling you, being put on the hush hush too, because see, it's already understood that our history has been rewritten. You know what I'm saying? That's not how they teaching it in school. And on the spiritual side of this, I'm gonna tell y'all, a lot of stuff that y'all gonna hear me say on this channel, you're gonna frequently hear me say that I knew this, I felt this way, and I was thinking this as a child because I did. And this is why one of the reasons why I say these kids already come in the world knowing. That's first of all. And a lot of these kids got more sense than a lot of adults. Thirdly, they ain't lying to y'all when they say these schools is out here indoctrinating these kids. Everybody kids, but especially when it comes to history, our folks, yes, like, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like they really be school really, in my opinion, don't even really be about like it be about educating you, but like enough to be able to go in these people businesses and you know work in them and keep them running and stuff. But like the indoctrination is heavy, like, and I feel like these people, I know these people have this understood, right? So when we hear our folks say stuff like, oh, I'm not my ancestors, and actually I need to make a separate video about that too. Y'all need to stop saying that because that is very high key disrespectful. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know, maybe y'all right, because y'all, it's a lot of our folks can never be our ancestors. Like the stuff they done been through, you know what I'm saying, really standing on a square for real, the stuff that they know, all of that, to where nowadays our folks are so lost in the sauce, they really believe everything that come out of their colorless overlord's mouth is like literally insane. Like, to me, like, they believe them more than they believe in their own folks that's been passing down the same information, telling y'all that these people out here lying. Like, why is it so hard to believe that this is a lie? Like, why would you believe the words of your oppressors? Let me calm down. I've been with my kids up. See, I'm about to get passionate about this, and I got to make a separate video about this. All I'm gonna say is, when they was teaching this part in history in school, I remember before my mom even was telling me about the tribe that, you know what I'm saying, our folks are from or whatever. When they was teaching this in school, I remember I instinctively already knew that it was a lie. I was like, how is these folks the Indians? But ain't we the Indians? But again, this is before I had even had any conversation about this when my mom ever been told this, you know what I'm saying, stuff. It's like I already knew spiritually. We already be knowing. We already come into the world knowing. So and that thing too, ain't nobody ever ain't nothing. That's why they say ain't nothing new under the sun. They are their ancestors. We are our ancestors. And I mean literally, like you're not a new soul. You've been here before. You know what I'm saying? Like your ancestor, I don't know, Mary J or something, who already been here. You just coming back, literally. And in my opinion, we keep coming back till we get this right. Like we keep on having this same, you know what I'm saying, going around this same circle or whatever. So that's my theory and why I say like, no, for real. Like you literally are your ancestors. Like bloodline and, you know, carrying the same DNA as somebody is deeper than just, oh, the way they look. You know what I'm saying? You looking like them and all of that. Like, I'm trying not to go too deep. I'm sorry, y'all, but because this is turned into another video, and I'm supposed to be saving this specific conversation for a whole nother video because I get passionate about stuff. I get to talking about it and going on and on and on because it's like, how do people not see this stuff? Like, for real. At the end of the day, when they was teaching this in school, I'm telling y'all, I kid you not, I already knew. And when I went home and I talked to my mama about it, that's when she went into telling me like the tribe, you know what I'm saying, we from, and how history, especially on slavery, is watered down. It's actually worse than that, and it's crazy because when you really get the digging, we thought the stuff they was teaching us about you know what I'm saying, how these folks get down and what they capable of was bad then. To learn that it gets worse is insane. So to know that they did all of that and people really out here thinking that, oh no, they just stopped that identity. Like there's no way they could have lied about the true people of America's identity. Like, are y'all crazy? Come on. Like, come on, man. Gone. I'ma just, like I said, I'm gonna save that for another video because it literally be like, we literally living in the upside down. Like, people cannot be that senseless. And I'm gonna tell y'all another thing too. How I know I'm not tripping. You know, I'm gonna save it. This is gonna be a separate video.
To reel it back in. So Curtis literally had at least
these folks lying at the end of the day. Y'all gotta know that they not telling 100% of the truth. They lie to their own people. Like they mix in a little bit of truth with a whole bunch of lies. I'm gonna save this conversation for another day. I don't see how people can see this though.
Deep backers for his project. Not only did he have funding from J.P. Morgan, he had backing from Frederick Webb Hodge, who was an American anthropologist and an archaeologist. He was the one who institutionalized it as ethnology. Institutionalize it as ethnology means taking Curtis's work and stamping it with the authority of science, academia, and institutions. So his work would be received as objective truth and not subjective art. So basically giving it.
And ain't no way people don't know by now that these people be having these fake scientific evidence and things that they discovered and approved and all of that. Like I said, I ain't saying everything is a lie, okay? But they're master manipulators. They know they mix in a little bit of truth with a whole bunch of lies because what it does to a lot of people is, which is it's actually on a genius because it's like, if I tell you the truth about this, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for you to believe or decipher what's real and what's not. Because it's like, well, if you told me the truth about this, then why would you be lying to me about this? Or you got to be telling the truth about this too. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Are y'all following me? Come on, man.
The government stamp of approval. And it was also forwarded by President Roosevelt. A forward is like an endorsement from a celebrity. Think of it as if LeBron was to endorse a pair of sneakers and be like, these are the best, y'all would most likely believe him. That's what a forward is. So he was basically telling America to look at these photos as truth and y'all should believe it. So it basically gave his whole project the president's seal of approval. So his project had 3 different backings. Institutional backing from the Bureau of American Ethnology, which Hodge made it science. Presidential backing from Theodore.
And the crazy thing is, when they was teaching it in school, again, even as a kid, had a hard time like staying focused and paying attention. Y'all, certain stuff like this would instantly pique my interest. And when they even talk about going to the whole story of like Indians or Native Americans, with, you know, they be switching them out or whatever the terms, right? And slavery and all of that, it don't even sound all the way right. Like, it's like it already be sounding off. Like, I'm telling you, like, the spirit knows, man. Like, and then especially these kids, you be knowing. But see, that's why they be when if a person tells you the same story so many times, and then they keep you as you going throughout these folks' school system, you gonna start to believe it. You gonna start to second guess yourself, like, and then especially if you got other people following along with this, and you know what I'm saying, like, oh no, you wrong about it because they said this, that, then you gonna start to be quiet about it, which is what a lot of our folks did, you know, because they get condemned and made fun of enough. And that's just a trick and tactic that they use just to try to get you to, you know, be quiet, hush, not talk about it, or, you know, give them any pushback or whatever. But I'm sorry. Come on, girl.
Roosevelt,
come on.
and lead backing from J.P. Morgan, in which he agreed to fund Curtis's work for 5 years, totaling $75,000. That would equal $2.5 million today, creating 40,000 of these stock photos in a 20-volume series that got published into schools, museums, libraries, that would shape the public perception for generations. Now, I don't believe in too many.
And they rewrite history. Didn't they say they took it? I looked it up. They took out teaching about slavery altogether. And I don't know if they did it in all states. I would have to look it up again. It's been a while since I looked this up. But I know they've taken it out of schools, teaching about, and I don't even think it's just slavery. If I remember correctly, it's Black history altogether. And y'all better be careful. You better stay on your P's and your Q's, because you know what they say, history repeats itself. Y'all ain't slick. I see right through y'all. Oh no, you don't. They taking it up out of schools. See, give it a couple centuries or whatever, because you know these folks playing very much ahead of time. Like, people these newer generations, because see, they don't care about us. They don't care about us older generations and the generations that are like adults. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's always the newer generation that they after. So if you're not teaching your kids and passing this information down, and they not teaching them, you know what I'm saying, in the schools, although they already got, you know what I'm saying, like I said, be up in that line anyways, but mixing a little bit of truth with a lot of lies. But what I'm saying is, if all you got to do is wait, you know what I'm saying, a couple generations, however many generations or whatever, till you feel like, okay, all the elders then died out, which is really what they did with us too. You know, like I say, getting rid of our, you know what I'm saying, like who we were on paper, all of that, right? And when the elders is gone, it's nobody to combat this stuff. Like, and then if y'all ain't saving documents, records, and all of that yourself, which a lot of our folks, you know what I'm saying, did, especially through, you know what I'm saying, throughout history, people moving, people spread, whatever. But the point that I'm making is, all they got to do is wait however many generations to where they feel like, all right, we got us a group that we can go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, indoctrinate with our new stuff that we want to instill in them and we want to put in them. So if they ever wanted to run this stuff back again, however many years or decades or whatever from now, them folks will be coming across it thinking that this is the first time that it ever happened, or this is something new, because they've essentially quietly erased the history. You get what I'm saying? Like, people stop talking about it. They stop teaching in the schools. Look, for those of you who are following me, come on, let's go. This is for the people who following along. I know like I said, you got to stick with me. Come on.
Coincidences. Sounds very coordinated to me, backed by the most powerful institutions and individuals at that time. That's 3 different powers all involved in the same project. Now, why would elites fund his project, build a whole company behind it, and then help push his photos out?
And then we have to realize too that they use our own folks to push their agenda and regurgitate this stuff that they trying to instill or put on us, right? So that's another thing we have to realize too, y'all. Look, they could not have gotten as far when it comes to dealing with us. I'm gonna say this: they have help from the inside. This is why, again, you're gonna realize, the older I get, the more I realize these sayings that are sayings for a reason. The biggest one: all skin folk are not kinfolk. Okay? Say it again with me. All skin folk are not kinfolk. Real talk. Them people.
Mind you, the publication has been called the most gigantic undertaking since the making of the King James edition of the Bible. The stock photos promoted today are part of a long-term visual replacement campaign so that the real descendants, us melanated ones, would look out of place on their own land. And this is what we call representational genocide. The systematic replacement of ethnic diverse representations of indigenous and local populations with homogenized, commercial-friendly imagery as a documented phenomenon, often described as a form of cultural erasure or the Hollywood Indian stereotype. This process involves replacing the actual, contemporary, and diverse spaces of original peoples with standardized, stereotypical, or AI-generated archetypes. Let's go down to the bottom. It says Hollywood and historical stereotypes. For decades, film and media have relied on a narrow set of stock characters. Stock photo effect, a simple internet image search for Native Americans. Notice how they put quotation marks, frequently surfaces the same limited hysterical or stereotypical imagery rather than realistic contemporary photos of individuals. Curtis didn't photograph Native peoples. He photographed a fiction, and that fiction was distributed everywhere and taught as truth. And when you erase the image of a people, you erase their claim to their land. Y'all have to understand, this was a whole systematic engine of erasure. I mean, they was coming from all angles, and this is why they was able to keep the lie going for so long. Oh, by the way, these are the real Wampanoag Indians from the Algonquian.
And the crazy thing is, again, a lot of our people are still mentally, honestly, mental. Like, slavery is, I don't want to say it's worse than physical, but because, oh no, that physical stuff, that, like I said, that stuff, when you get into we thought it was bad what they was teaching in school. It was worse. They was doing worse than that. I don't you even human at that point. Who even thinks to do the stuff that they was even, you know what I'm saying, doing. But anyways, like I said, a lot of our folks don't believe nothing unless it come out of their colorless overlord's mouth. So the crazy thing is, all people have to know is, how could you believe 100% of your oppressors telling you about your identity and who you are? Why would you believe that they would possibly be telling you 100% truth about where you are, I mean, who you are, where you originate, where you come from? They barely be wanting to talk about really where they come from, but it's a conversation for another day again. But it's just, it's crazy. Like, it's right here. You don't even, like, shout out to the people that be really doing this deep, heavy, deep diving into this stuff, right? But a lot of this stuff you don't even, I'm trying to get y'all to understand, like, and this too, like, you gotta, our folks really do gotta get back to tapping into something, because it's right here. This must be what they mean when they say, for people who have eyes to see and ears to hear. It's right here in our face. Like, just off of that alone, there's no way you, like, how could you even be trusting, like I said, 100% of what they be saying? And they are known, proven, habitual liars. I mean, everybody lies, but I'm talking about, like, on the grand scale of things, like, you know what I'm saying, where these people are in power and control and stuff like that. Like, again, you don't get this far from telling the truth and being friendly. How you think they took over America? Like, I'm about to get frustrated. Because I just know somebody watching this on the other side of the screen still acting confused. And I just, please, just, one of y'all colorless overlords, please get up here and tell these folks, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it unless it come out one of y'all mouth. And it's, like I said, if you got a brain to even think for yourself, like, it's right here in our face. They literally, it's like you trusting everything that come out your boyfriend mouth, who consistently all he do is lie and cheat on you, and then he treats you right sometimes, type of thing. You get what I'm trying to say?
Nation.
Looking like our grandparents, how our grandparents look.
So whole time, rush hour traffic is not a coincidence. Y'all motherfuckers got agents acting as drivers to fuck the traffic up at a certain time every day. So when we get home, we tired and we irritated and we just want to take it down. So now we not thinking about overthrowing the higher ups. None of this shit is an accident. Everything is planned.
All of this stuff is a distraction, by the way, because pretty much what he basically saying here, like, we all know, I don't want to say all of us, a lot of us, right? You'd be surprised how many of us actually peep game and is on to this stuff. Um, but at the same time, people be either too distracted with, they be too tired from work and just simply too distracted with trying to keep up with, you know what I'm saying, um, keeping their head above water or trying to make more money so they can, you know what I'm saying, live more comfortably, pass down generational wealth or uphold the current, you know, nice lifestyle that they already have, right? You get what I'm saying? So it's,
You motherfuckers is sick.
Stop and watch this video because it might save your life. There's a practice in the military called fragging, where when your commanding officer has completely lost the plot, he do not care whether y'all live or die. He will send you out to do whatever the fuck as long as the mission get done. And y'all recognize that, and y'all don't want to die. They start leaving live frags at his feet. And pretty much the way they do this without getting in legal trouble is when it's a live frag, it's no telling where it came from. So it could be enemy fire, right? Either way, if you know too much about fragging, you are not eligible to be drafted into the military. So I'm here to teach you about fragging. When people in Vietnam, when the soldiers in Vietnam and their families back home were like, yo, this is a bunch of bullshit. They don't need to be out there doing that. So they was leaving live frags at their commanding officer's feet. Again, if you know too much about this, they cannot draft you.
who told him that? I'm gonna have to ask my husband. Cause where is he? Huh? Cause I don't think I highly doubt they care. If they need the numbers, you're getting drafted. Whether you know about fragging or not, I don't know. Like, that's just.
Did you hear about the waterfall that was just discovered in the jungles of Tennessee and no one's ever known that it's there? But what's crazy about it is what's at the bottom of it because it rewrites the entire history
I'm gonna have to look this up. But go ahead, sir. Hold on.
of America, in the United States of America. At the bottom is a cavern chamber that they said is full of Egyptian artifacts. In fact, on the wall of it, they said that there's petroglyphicers that tells the history of the world. And it's not quite in the Egyptian writing. They say it's
because y'all know they say that this America is supposed to really be the motherland. Now, one thing to that is because again, the whole little story, like something that, like I said, that whole slavery story is for a fact definitely ain't 100% truth. They leaving out some bits and pieces. I don't care what y'all say. Because if Africa is so rich with all these like resources and stuff like that, why wouldn't they just take over there? I don't know. Like, am I tripping? All the people that they would have needed to do their labor for free that they were too lazy to do themselves was already there. Like, they came to America, decided they wanted, okay, this was gonna be their new land or whatever. Because clearly, you know, according to their story, for whatever reason, it had to be so rich and whatever, right? That instead of just planting their feet, little evil feet in Africa and staying there, they took Africans from Africa and kept going back and forth to bring them to America to help build up America. And come on, sir, my bad, because I'm about to go off on a tangent.
more like a reformed Egyptian, but it says that man was placed on earth by our sky cousins, and that the United States is a land that's super important, is what it says. So I'm going to go down there tomorrow with Dr. Remy Demi. I'm super excited, a little nervous, and take pictures and see what other artifactage is. They said there's a chest that's locked, and it says there's a curse on it that says "Do not open," and so we'll likely open it to see what's inside.
Yeah, we know y'all gonna, we know you gonna open it. We know they gonna open it. But I'm gonna have to look this up to see how true this actually is. He said it was
But I'll keep.
Gather round and pay attention because I'm about to drop some serious esoteric knowledge on everyone. I'm going to explain how everything ties together, How the story of Jesus is the story of the sun passing through the 12 zodiacs is your Kundalini awakening, is the number 9 in numerology, is the story of Santa Claus. For 99% of you, this information will just go right over your head. But that's why in the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus said that he will choose 1 out of every 1,000 and 2 out of every 10,000. He will only reveal his mysteries to those who are worthy of his mysteries. This type of information is what separates the 1% from the 99%. Most of you think it's money, but it's not. It's knowledge. All of these secret societies that run the world are descendants of the Egyptian school of mysteries, and they have kept this information to themselves. And they do not think you are worthy. But I think knowledge is for everyone, especially knowledge of this caliber, and no matter what anyone chooses to call me, they will never call me a gatekeeper. No matter what your beliefs are, the information that I'm about to give you is the truth. If you do not receive it, that is not my problem. I did my job.
Okay, come on, you yapping like me. Get to it. We want to know the truth.
By giving you the knowledge. Now let's tie all this together. I'm going to explain all of this under the assumption that you have a basic understanding of the story of Jesus. You know, born of a virgin, lived until 33, he was crucified, rose 3 days later. On December 21st, the sun passes through a constellation known as Crux, or Cross, where the sun is crucified, and it dies. December 21st is the shortest day of the year and the darkest day of the year. For the next 3 days, December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the sun has died. The days don't get no longer or shorter. The sun is dead and in the tomb. Until December 25th. On Christmas, the sun starts going higher and higher in the sky. The days start getting longer than the nights. Now this does have a double meaning because while it does represent Jesus coming out of the tomb, it also represents Jesus being born. Esoteric knowledge is never just one thing. It is always layered. Okay, so December 25th represents Jesus coming out of the tomb, but also Jesus being born. 30 days after December 25th, the sun is in Aquarius. 30 years after Jesus' birth, he enters into the river and gets baptized by John the Baptist. John the Baptist is the man of the water, represents Aquarius because Aquarius is the water bearer. So after the sun/Jesus is baptized in Aquarius, it moves on through Pisces, doing all the spiritual work that it needs to do until it gets to Aries. In Aries, the sun becomes the offering to God. The ancients called this the Ram of God come to take away the cold of the winter. The Christians later changed this to the Lamb of God come to take away the sins of the world. Easter and Christmas are so multi-layered it's not even funny. Like I said, the sun passing through Pisces after Aquarius is doing the spiritual work that it needs to do. It also represents the time after the crucifixion when Jesus rose again before that Aries ascension. What does any of this have to do with Santa Claus? See, on the day that the moon goes into your sun sign in astrology, there is a part of your brain called the Santa Claustrum that releases a drop of fluid that goes down your chimney, your chi in me, all the way down to the base of your spine at the fusion of the 5 vertebrae that is known as the stone. That is why in the story of Jacob in the Bible, he laid his head on a stone, had a dream where he saw a ladder going all the way up to heaven, saw angels going up and down the ladder. That's the raising of the chrism oil. The day that the moon goes into your sun sign, the Santa Claustrum in your brain releases a drop of fluid that goes all the way down your chimney, your chi in me, down to the base of your spine. And if you follow the exact steps that we get from learning the story of Jesus, from observing the sun moving through the 12 zodiacs, you will raise that drop of fluid up all 33 vertebrae to the very top of your spine where there is a junction nerve shaped like a cross that leads to the pituitary and the pineal gland. This is why Jesus died at 33 and why he was nailed to a cross. You have a cross nerve on the 33rd vertebrae. And if you raise that chrism oil all the way up, you will activate your pituitary, which represents the feminine and secretes milk, and the pineal, which represents the masculine and secretes honey, and it flows and mixes in your brain, creating the promised land mentioned in the Bible, the land flowing with milk and honey, thus activating the right hemisphere of the brain, which is why Jesus said, cast your net to the right side. And when the disciples did, they caught 153 fish. 1 + 5 + 3 is 9. This is why when the sun is in Leo, it is King of Kings and Lord of Lords and sits in the eastern sky, the right side of the sky. This is the Kundalini awakening. Activating that right hemisphere of the brain by raising your chrism oil from the stone, from the sacral chakra, all the way up to the crown chakra when you have activated the pituitary and pineal gland and created the promise.
Sir, hold on. You might be cooking. Like, ain't no mic, but I'm like, slow down. Slow down. Hold up.
Promised land in your brain. Before the Israelites in the Bible could go to the promised land, 40 days. 4 + 0 is in order to raise chrism oil, you have to be in a fast. The day that the moon goes into the sign before your sun sign, you start your fast and you end it the day after the moon leaves your sun sign. This creates a 4-day fast. We're still not done. It goes deeper. The sun's name is Sol. This is a solar system. You have a solar plexus. How important is the solar plexus? Well, the solar plexus is essentially you. You are a sun. You are made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. And guess what? so are the fucking stars. As above, so below, as within, so without. The stars are you, and you are them. We're all just stardust, baby. All of this happens inside of you and outside of you. As above, so below. So be Leo. Leo is the lion ruled by the sun. Leo is ego. The sun in your birth chart represents your ego, your self-identity. Guess what else is ego? The number 9. Number 9 represents human consciousness. It represents Earth.
I'm a Leo. Shout out to all the Leos out there.
It represents you. In gematria, the first man, Adam. Adam equals 9. That's why in numerology, the number 9 rules the letter I. Anytime you say, I went, I go, I speak, I say, I did, you are invoking your ego. It is the knowledge that you yourself exists. Earlier I said the number 9 represents human consciousness. If you reside in the root chakra, you are residing in beast consciousness, ruled by the 7 deadly sins. Humans are carbon-based life forms. Carbon is made up of 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. If you are residing in the root chakra, you're living in beast consciousness, the frequency of 666. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. But if you raise that chrism oil and successfully complete the Kundalini awakening once every single month, because it happens every single month, you will reach the frequency of 144,000. Christ consciousness, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is also 9. With an activated right hemisphere of the brain, making it so much easier for you to manifest everything you've ever desired when you are in Christ consciousness. This is the only way. There is no other way. All you have to do is complete the fast successfully every single month. It's 4 days out of every month. You start the fast when the moon goes into the sign before your sun sign, and you complete it when the moon leaves your sun sign. No food, just drink water, no expelling any kind of sexual energy. If you do that, you will activate the right hemisphere of the brain. You will regenerate all new red blood cells. You will regenerate cerebral spinal fluid. But if you do not complete this every month, this is why people are chronically ill. Because instead of giving you those gifts of regenerating all those things in your body, what happens is the colostrum releases what's called neuromelanin, little black particles or coal, into your bloodstream, which causes chronic illness and aging rapidly. So keep up with all this. Track the moon. Know where it is. Know right before it goes into your sun sign. Start your fast and end the fast right after the moon leaves your sun sign. If you would like a Kundalini fasting schedule, you can get one at the link in my bio. It literally tells you the days you start the fast and the day you end the fast every single month. It tells you every detail of what you need to know and what you need to do during the fast. Trust me, you will feel better than you've ever felt in your entire life.
I'm finna tell you something.
Sir, you okay? They might be coming to get you, eye patch. Sound like dropping some knowledge. This one, let's get into
something,
this.
and I'm warning you right now, your life will never be the same after you watch.
I made a video talking about how social media has ruined us, but honestly, I need to make a separate video talking about how social media has also helped us as well too, because one thing I've realized, as with everything, there's a good and there's a bad. There's pros, there are cons. So it's all about like how you look at it, how you approach it and stuff, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because, you be thinking that you're the only one thinking a certain type of way or catching certain things or even just experiencing certain things, especially spiritually, right? And then you hop on social media and it's like you end up on just your right side of the algorithm. Like you found your people, right? On some parasocial stuff, real talk, but don't take it too serious because I know some people taking the parasocial relationships like going crazy. But anyways, you realize that you're not the only one peeping this, seeing this, experiencing this, realizing this. Yeah, you're gonna see why I'm saying this, because he finna say something that is literally, when I came across this video, I was like, I literally just got done telling my family about this and my theories with certain stuff spiritually, right, based off my own experiences. But go ahead, sir.
This video, you have never ever met a new person. You have never met a new individual. You have never made a new friend. You have never had a new girlfriend. You have a friend right now or a relationship partner. If you're single, even if you're in a relationship, you have another partner that you don't know about. If you're single, you have a partner that you don't know about. But when you find out about them, you don't know a life without them. You won't know a life without them, because the present moment will exist in it, meaning they were always there. They were always there. Just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean they weren't there. The point I'm getting at is, in physics you learn energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You know this, watching this, you know this. So why the fuck do you think that there was a new human being that was created that you didn't know of, with the same energy that exists in the entire universe, Somehow this one person is just set outside of the collective of consciousness. They're just outside of it. No, everybody is consciousness, because there would be no such thing as anything without consciousness. There would be no substance of consciousness without consciousness. You wouldn't know what consciousness is if you weren't conscious. You get what I'm saying? Everybody that you met already exists. They've never not existed. Your mom has never not been your mom before. The human that you look at as your mom or your dad or your best friend, that's been different. That changes. The essence, the energy has always been there. That's why somebody can be so jolly and then they get shot in their head and their body just flops. And then you're like, damn, where did that personality go that I was clinging to? The personality was never attached to the human. I'm talking like this: when I die, my body is going to be cold. There's going to be no substance of 3K knowledge in it, because I was never the body. There was never such thing as a body and a soul inside of it. No, this is an external animated projection of your consciousness, and your dreams are a reflection of that. Why do you have dreams?
Now,
You're
my bad. When he touched on this dream part, y'all, years ago, so I'll be sitting and stuff would just randomly come to me, right? And years ago, this was back when it wasn't that long ago. So I would say, like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years. We've been stationed here for about 3 years, I guess. So, anyways, when my husband had, got out the Marine Corps and we moved to Texas, right, for about a year, I randomly just started talking to my husband about like dreams, right? I'm a dreamer. And I've always have been since I was a child. I will get deeper into that in another conversation. But I was talking to him about, just based off my own experiences, how dreams are more than just dreams, than you just dreaming about random stuff. A theory that I have, right? Like I said, based off my own experiences, the people when y'all are hearing people talk about us being on, because let me get up close. I gotta make sure y'all can hear me. Y'all are hearing more and more people talk about this great awakening happening, right, with the human race. Us being on a collective consciousness and all of that. Y'all, this is for a reason, okay? And for a lot of us who experience things spiritually, right? Or they would call it spiritual gifts that we just try to ignore, act like it's not real. I'm speaking from experience, right? Um, until you hit a certain points where it's like you you can't really, you know what I'm saying, ignore it anymore. It's harder to ignore because it's like, you know what I'm saying, like you're understanding these things, whatever, right? Not that you spiraling or nothing, but like I said, if y'all follow me, come on. I had the revelation not too long ago that the people that you see in your dreams, y'all, these are real people. This is my theory. These are real people that you coming across in your dreams. These are real people. So you not only dreaming about, sometimes you may be having a dream, you dreaming about your spouse, your mom in a dream, your brothers in a dream or whatever, right? You're not only dreaming about people that you know for a fact are real people, because these are people in your everyday real life. These background characters, these people, other people you seeing in your dreams that you thinking are just random faces, random people, these are real people in the dream world, y'all. I guess what they would call the astral world. These are real people. These are real people. I'm going to have a separate conversation about that. I want to have a spirituality talk with y'all for real, for real. I'm telling y'all. I'm gonna have a separate conversation about that another day on one of our Let's Talk Friday sessions. Don't worry, I'll remember, because like I said, it's so much stuff I want to talk to y'all about, because people need to understand this. And it's crazy because I don't know, a decade or so ago, however long ago, people would have been deemed crazy for talking about this stuff. There was this, it's not true, it's not real. And the whole time you find out with these unclassified government documents, they experiment with this stuff. They know this stuff is real, y'all. They've always known this stuff is real. Them talking about, alternate realities and all of that, it ain't nothing but them all saying the same thing. That you know what I'm saying, people in spirituality and all of that, and with these spiritual gifts and all that, have been saying for years and been trying to tell y'all. And then some people just spiral out of control because they can't, you know what I'm saying, they mind can't. take it. They can't fathom it, like this type of stuff. But this stuff is real, y'all, and they know it's real, and it's crazy. Like I said, when you read some of these unclassified documents and them trying to experiment and teach people how to do certain meditation methods and certain things to be able to reach different states of consciousness and all that. Whereas you have, you know what I'm saying, people, if you know, you know. We know. Where we be looking like reading that stuff, like, I always thought this was normal. Like, everybody can't do this. I thought everybody could do this. You be doing this stuff your whole life, and then you find out, you get on TikTok and see people talking about how to teach you how to astral project, or how to teach you how to lucid dream, how to teach you how to do this, how to teach you, and you be like, everybody don't do this. Like, I just thought that was just a normal part of, you get what I'm saying? Like, but y'all, we're not me. Like he said, I think he's more so talking about, like, just even in the physical world when you meet people, and I agree with that too, because not too long ago as well too, a lot of stuff, I've had a lot of realizations and just a lot of stuff that, and I know it happened because just this stuff that just, I had some highs. Me and my husband, of course, we had the high was, welcoming another child, right? And then, I had some unexpected, really, really low, like low lows, whatever, with, like, family stuff or whatever, right? Like I said, I don't want to get into that, but um a lot of I've been hit with a lot of realizations of things that all I'm gonna say is spiritual gifts are real, whether you want to acknowledge that you have them or not, and ignore them. But it will come a certain point that it's gonna be dang near hard for you to continue to ignore it, right? And you have it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? To help or whatever, right? I believe the people that you see in your dreams are real people, as well as you're interacting with real people. So when you wake up from a dream, basically, right? Just imagine you wake up from a dream, interacting with a person, and then that person on the other side of the world somewhere, a real person, wake up on you telling. I wake up and I'm telling my husband about the dream I just had with this girl. You know what I'm saying? We was talking, chopping it up, talking in the park, blah blah this, right? And this girl, just imagine this a real person, y'all, somewhere in the world, waking up from her dream and telling her friend or her husband or whatever, yeah, I just met this girl. You know what I'm saying? Me, and chopping it up, but it seems so real. These are real people. It's the same thing as what he's saying in real life. When you are meeting people, they are like a reflection of you. And I've had this realization because, and like I say, they just, stuff just become, it'll just come to me, right? Like a lot of us, but I realized this, like, literally the people that you would just, meet just like in passing, or maybe you start hanging out with like a new person or whatever, y'all end up chopping it up. Like they say, nothing is by accident or by coincidence or whatever, right? It's crap. When you really step back, and it's not like you're doing a whole lot of like scientific research, got to think that hard, y'all. These people, in some way, shape, or form, is a reflection of you. This is why they say you are who you hang with. I'm not saying that if you hanging out with somebody, you find out that they're a horrible, nasty, evil person that you had no idea about, that means that you must be a horrible, nasty, evil person. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, in some way, shape, or form, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can have good qualities that is a reflection of you, right? In some way, shape, or form, if y'all get what I'm trying to say, these people are in some way connected to you or a reflection of you, right? So like you said, you're not meeting new people. These are not new people. Just like in the dream world, these are real people. That's my theory.
So deep into the veil that you don't even question why you have dreams. Isn't that not the craziest thing? You're asleep, you're in your bed, you go to sleep, and your mind, your awareness is
Wait until people realize that, well, actually, you can't realize this unless you experience it. Again, dreams are not just dreams, because You dream about stuff and they actually come true. It's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level, and a lot of people can't deal with that. Dreams are for a fact. I know for a fact dreams are not just dreams. And like I said, I had this conversation with my husband randomly one day, but I know again based off my own experiences, I know for a fact dreams are not just dreams. It is not. Didn't they say sleeping is like another form of meditation or something like that? If I'm correct, it don't matter what they want to call it. The dream world. This is a real place. This is real. You're not just going to sleep to be going to sleep. And for people who are dreamers and you've had dreams that actually manifest or happen in real life, and you've already seen this play out in a dream, whether it was like a day or so ago, years before it happened or months before it happened, you know that dreams are not just dreams.
Literally observing an entire different reality that doesn't exist but does because you're looking at it. But we call dreams fake, so is physical reality fake as well?
Because it does exist. What they say, stuff definitely do happen in the spiritual before it happens in the physical. That's why for those of you who also have dreams that you actually see happen and that manifests in real life at some point, it already happened in the spiritual realm. They say it has to happen, and it's why I believe this, because I know it has to happen. This must be why they say it has to happen in the spiritual before it happens in the physical.
Because I can see this. I can interact with this as well. Just like I can interact with my dream and have and bust and wake up and have stains because I was interacting with that.
Oh Lord, I wonder, can we say that on YouTube? I think I'm gonna have to block that out.
That fake reality, and I'm interacting with this real reality. There's no separation between it. Both of them are fake. Both of them are real. They're the same essence. This new person that you met, you've always known this person.
Ain't that why y'all ever heard people talk about meeting people in their dreams years before they met them in real life? Y'all, these people not making this stuff up again. If you know, you know. These are real. That's because they're real people. They're real people. There is a collective consciousness going on.
That's why you connect.
Just like some of y'all. How many of y'all be having the same dream? It may not be every night, but I know that sometimes they're like, I'll keep going back every so often to the exact same place in my dreams sometimes. And it's just, you know what I'm saying, having a different interaction, you know what I'm saying, something that happened differently in that same exact place this time in a dream.
With them because you know them and they're here to reflect you so the universe can understand itself. That's why you go through situations you've never been through before to gain different perspectives. There's millions and billions of people who have different perspectives on different things in life on the same canvas, different paint on the same canvas. You are the canvas, and I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking directly to you. No, I'm not just talking to a crowd of my followers, my 50,000 followers. No, that is all an illusion on the screen. I'm talking to you. You, Universe. Yes, bitch, you. You've never met me. 3K Knowledge has always been here. It's always been here. I've always been here talking to you. And I'm here to remind you that there is no end to this life. There was no beginning. All that.
Don't they call this a prison planet? People just keep coming back.
Is now. Eternal is now.
That's why y'all know, like a lot of our elders say, when, you know, especially when we are like younger, or, you know, we have younger kids or whatever, right? They watch how they interact and, you know, do certain things, and it's like, oh, that baby been here before. That's an old soul. Where y'all think they got that from? Again, they saying these sayings are a saying for a reason. There's nothing new under the sun. It's people that then came before us way, long time ago. The same stuff being passed down. They already understand this stuff. They already understand this stuff. They already understand it. It's not new. Like, people just coming back.
Your future partner isn't finna appear. She or he is already there. Go with the flow. You will meet them. You don't have any choice to, because you probably don't have kids, but you will. They already exist, breathing, enjoying their childhood right now. You're just not in the present moment aware of it. But you will, because it exists right now. There's no reality where you won't experience that, because it's being experienced right now. I hope you understand that. Stop feeling as if you have to make bonds with people, or you're stuck to a person. You weren't here to make the decisions. You already made it. You're just here to understand why. Shout out to the Matrix. Because you truly are not the human. You're not this bag of meat that's going to be put inside of a coffin in the dirt. This isn't you. It's a movie. Can you see your face right now? No, because you're just the observer.
You know what's so crazy too? They literally say, for people who have watched people, pass away or whatever, right? So like my mom, for instance, she used to work, with the elderly or whatever, right? And when they be on like stuff like hospice care and all of that, she's been in situations where she's actually, sat with the person and, stay with them when they was getting ready, keeping them company when they getting ready to, so they don't feel like they're alone or whatever. They ain't got no family or nobody there with them, right? And they literally say, well, I've heard her talk about how, and this is something I feel like you gotta be strong to see something like this and be okay with it, be able to still function in everyday life, right? It sounds so traumatic, but she's literally said what you will hear other people say too, who have watched people literally pass away. The eyes, they say you can literally see the life leave out of them through the eyes. They say the eyes are the window to the soul, y'all. They say you can literally see the soul when you look into their eyes. If you've ever watched a person pass away, you can literally see the life out of them just gone through the eyes. It's not that they close the eyes, and then I'm talking about like the eyes can be wide open. You could just see. It's just there's no light in them no more. Like they're gone. It's almost like how you turn off the television, but you still got the dark screen or whatever. So it's just like, shoot. But the television, you still see the television screen. I guess kind of like that, if you get what I'm trying to explain. It's like he said, you're not. This body is
of this movie, thinking that
this is just what is needed for you to be able to experience this physical plane that we on. If you get what I'm saying.
You are a part of the movie and you are in some movie.
The body is needed.
It's the illusion of separation. You are the movie. There is no new characters. It's a new movie every life, using the same source, same one energy. It's like Play-Doh. And every way that you move the Play-Doh is a new life to be observed. It's the same Play-Doh, the same.
To add on to that too, right? It's another thing too, because that would also explain. Y'all know how y'all ever meet somebody and y'all just click? You know how you had them certain people that you meet throughout your life that you just click like instantly. Like you just get along, like y'all just mesh, whatever. It's y'all know that's your spirits. Y'all spirits. They, what I'm saying, they on a spiritual plane, they agreeing with each other. You already know them for real.
Essence of energy. You don't meet new people. There's not new people that are born. There's just different perspectives to be perceived. This life is now. Get a broader understanding of your consciousness with my ebook. I put my heart into it. Link in the bio. I love y'all unconditionally. But am I truly talking to everybody? When I say y'all, or am I talking to you? I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Keep scrolling. Peace and love to the conscious, man. Take care, y'all.
I thought I told you guys to stop giving me things to research. Like, I've literally lost sleep because of all the rabbit holes you guys have sent me down. You guys told me to look up Project Looking Glass. Let's talk about it because I genuinely was not ready for the way that this connects. We're also going to be talking about the Book of Jubilees. That is, okay, the Book of Jubilees was found in the Dead Sea Scroll, but is not mentioned in the canon Bible, and it's actually in the Apocrypha. So it's not a divine book, but it's still in the Ethiopian Bible, which is the oldest Bible known to man. In the Book of Jubilees, it says that there is a divine cosmic clock. There's actually 364 days rather than the 65 that the elites tell us there is. Before we get into the Book of Jubilees and how it connects, we're going to talk about Project Looking Glass. Well, basically, allegedly, TikTok, allegedly, this is all for entertainment purposes only, it's all satire, but allegedly, the higher ups had a machine, an ancient machine that they learned from ancient technology. If you let me tell it, I'm gonna say the ancient technology is the fallen angel knowledge that they brought down when they procreated with the mortal women way back in the times of Noah. But that's for another video. But basically, this machine was able to look into the future and the past and proved that history repeats itself. We already know that history repeats itself because the Bible literally tells us there's nothing new under the sun. But Project Looking Glass was basically just using this machine to look at the future, to be able to predict certain things, and to be able to study patterns so that the higher ups had information that we didn't have as common folk. Until one day, they were looking into this machine and they realized that after 2012, from my research, after 2012, it was no longer showing them the same thing. All of a sudden, they saw that there was going to be this great awakening of the people, and
they made that movie 2012.
And it wasn't the same pattern that they were seeing before. Now, how this ties into the Book of Jubilees is crazy. So in this hidden book that people say is supposed to be in our canon Bible, but they took it out to keep us in the dark, says that time moves in the span of 49.
And see, that's another thing too. Why I can't get with this whole religion thing. Why do y'all got Old Testament, New Testament, then y'all got certain books that y'all, left out, and then they didn't get, like, come on, man. That's just another thing that they done manipulated. Come on, like, you gonna have to search for these answers and figure this stuff out yourself. And I'm not saying like you can't read the Bible and get something out of it, but what I'm saying is just like with everything else, these folks gonna manipulate this stuff how they want to manipulate it. Like, again, they gonna give you some truth mixed with a whole bunch of lies, and then some confusion, and then some stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that's like relatable. So like, oh, okay, like that could be true.
9 years. It's crazy that events in the canon Bible, like the testing of Abraham, the flood, the Israelites being freed in Exodus, it all goes by this Jubilee clock. That's that time isn't just human history, it's actually events that are carefully structured and measured by God. And like the Jubilee calendar is actually the calendar in heaven. Basically, after every 49 years, it resets itself. Hence why the Bible said there's nothing new under the sun. Hence why everyone says history repeats itself. Now that we know
on this whole history repeats itself thing, right? Okay, so my perspective on this is, again, the ancestor thing, right? Again, who you're related to, right? Your ancestors and all that is deeper than you just sharing the same DNA as them and just looking like them or whatever, right? It goes deeper than that, right? So like even to when it comes to like how you choose to approach certain situations, right? And react to them. They even talk about this, like people who have a family history, like maybe you have a family history of alcoholics in your family. So then they would, say that you could be more prone to being an alcoholic and stuff too, right? These people understand all this stuff, right? Y'all, like for real, I don't know why people not understanding this. History is repeating itself because I believe there's no new thought. There's no such thing as a new thought or an original thought, right? So you don't have to be always taught to act or think or be a certain way, right? There's things about you that it's just you. Like that's how you are. That's how you are as a person. Now you could be getting that from your great great whoever, right? If you go down the family tree, long lost, whoever, they gone, they ain't here no more. But they're not new traits, they're not new thought patterns, they're not new actions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who didn't came before you in your family tree was that, you know what I'm saying? You act just like such and such, whoever in your family tree that long lost, you know what I'm saying? Nobody don't remember like that no more or whatever, right? So that's my theory. If y'all understand what I'm trying to say of why history repeats itself, right? Because no new thought and it's nothing new. That's why it's nothing new under the sun. Like, we just doing stuff that's already be done, that's already been said, that's already been thought of. Like, this is why our parents, right? I don't know if y'all parents have told y'all this, but I know a common thing that my mom used to tell us growing up, right? When we try to be slick, think we being slick and doing certain things. Everything you've already thought of or you think you're gonna do, I've already done it. Or I've already thought of it. Like, it's nothing new that's being done. That's why, you know, kids have a common thing that they commonly do, that you see kids do, and like, y'all get what I'm trying to say.
The book of Jubilees tells us that not only is time measured, it's sacred. Almost like it's unfolding like gears in a divine watch. I'm going to tell you something crazy. 2025 is a Jubilee year. That's why so many people are saying at the end of 2025, we're going to be in a great awakening. What has been happening, y'all? Everybody's waking up. Everybody is seeing things for what they really are, especially with social media. Why do y'all think they want to take this app away? So if they saw in Project Looking Glass that there was a great awakening coming, and that's why they stopped using the machine. 2025 is a Jubilee year, but they took the book of Jubilees out of the Bible, maybe to keep us from using the time that's actually measured in heaven. Could it be because they're trying to keep us from the Great Awakening? Y'all, this is insane. This is kind of kooky. Am I the only one that's like, everything is connecting right now? This is you guys' fault. This is your fault. You guys sent me down this rabbit hole, so you better interact in the comments and tell me what you think, and don't leave me here sounding crazy. Anyway, y'all, as always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below what else we should get into, because I'm intrigued.
Why is it that when I think a positive thought, it's, I know I can do this, I've done this before. But when it's a negative thought, it's, you're not gonna make it, you don't know what you're doing. Why is the positive I and the negative is you?
Y'all have experienced that? Have any of y'all ever experienced that?
Is that even me talking? Or is that someone or something else? Like, help me out here. Is this just me?
Once you realize our bones aren't really the structure and we're actually a liquid crystal, and you can reorganize your collagen fibers with your hands with direct shearing force. Also, when you realize that the nervous system is like highly intertwined with the fascia, and the fascia is actually 6 to 10 times more innervated than our musculoskeletal system, then you realize that the body doesn't do anything not for a reason, and that it's a highly intelligent system. And so if the nervous system prioritizes the fascial tissue that much, it must be important. And they realize actually all directions of movement happen at 3D rotational plane. And so every time you flex and extend your elbow, you're actually rotating to a degree. And this actually happens all the way down to a cellular level. And then you realize the body is like an adaptation machine, and it's made to adapt with applied pressure and force. And then you realize human touch is healing, and a mechanism happens called mechanotransduction, which induces piezoelectricity into the body, and it stimulates new collagen production, stimulates fibroblasts and osteoblasts to lay down new cells. And then you realize every single chakra in the body is actually an insane nerve plexus. And the
anime dropping them gems. I told y'all they be dropping gems. Naruto.
The vessels and nerves and organs lie in these areas, and then you realize that organs are actually our emotional body. And then you realize that the brain, aka our belief system, tells the body what to do, and the body listens. But sometimes when our fascia gets gluey and stuck, our body doesn't have the capacity to move into those new postures and spaces. And then you realize posture is actually body language, and body language is just how you express your emotional body. And then you realize breath is the flow of life, and breath is a really important biomechanical action. We take 20,000 breaths a day, so every single type of breath that we take shapes our body. And so if you're breathing through your mouth, your face and your throat will literally change because your tongue and your throat are actually connected down into your heart, into the pericardium. And then you do a live dissection and you see that the skull is like paper thin in some areas, and you also see how deeply connected the tongue is all the way down to the pelvic floor and the big toe, and that the body has a reason for literally doing anything, and it's going to prioritize things based off of function, and we can see that in dissection. And then you study biodynamic craniosacral therapy, and then you realize that the pressure inside the skull can change based on tension around the sutures, and that our spine is an antenna. Oh yeah, and then you study neuroscience, and then you realize that the brain is actually in charge of the body, and so your belief system dictates
Well, we know that part.
everything, and therefore what you believe you will transmute into your reality. And I'm at risk of sounding woo here, but hear me out. This is science. What you see goes. You are the placebo, and so you start speaking things into your existence, into your body, into your reality, and they manifest.
Well, I'm about to be a multimillionaire by December 1st, 2026. Boom. Let's see.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the big game here is to get you to react. And the reason is because when you react, you send an emotional signature. So if you're upset, if you're angry, you immediately send out this emotional signature from your body. And just like we eat food, then the entities that are around, which Don Juan called flyers, they eat that. And if you think that that's just so far out, then why don't you start realizing for one moment that actually the entire reality that you're in, whether you want to see it or not, Alice, is predatory. Meaning that this eating all the time, hunting animals, just consuming other organisms, consuming energy, etc., just on a subconscious level creates what we call a predator. So we're not blaming anyone for this. We're just saying things as they really are, right? So in this predatory reality, what you find is you find that there's this need for everything to actually have energy. But the interesting thing is that when things need energy that are out of your visual spectrum, remember, things that are out of your visual spectrum, here's another misconception. A lot of people think that things that are out of their visual spectrum are only the things high on the visual spectrum. And that's not true. There are things very low on the visual spectrum, like that are lower wavelength that you can't see either. Okay, and this is why in the dark room meditation, you actually begin to see these subsonic or far infrared kind of entities moving around because
The dark room meditation, I'm too scary for that. I couldn't meditate in the dark. I couldn't. I don't care how hard I tried. I can't. I'm too scary, Gary. I don't trust the dark. Like, this is why again, the freaks come out at night. That's why they say that. That's why that's a saying. Like, I know I need to see what's going on, what's moving. Cause I got one time to hear one bump, one thump, and I'm just gonna literally dang near run through the wall on some Scooby Doo type stuff. Like, I don't like that.
when you don't have light, your eye, or you don't have as much light as you have in the daytime or whatever, your eyes, for a long time, your eyes are forced to adjust, right? And they adjust more into those infrared frequencies, and then you can start seeing things that you couldn't see when the lights.
Is that why you for real? Cause when it be dark and your eyes be just that's why that's why I don't trust the dark. Cause see, that's why them kids be needing them night lights. When you was a kid, don't lie. Don't lie. I know you needed a night light because I know I did. Grown. Still don't want to sleep in the dark. Ask my husband. Ain't no shame in my game. That's why them kids be scared to sleep in the dark. They be swearing up and down. They seeing stuff when it's dark. Sir. Come on.
We're on all the time, and then causing your consciousness to just only see what's in that particular spectrum. So the range of perceptions then, or the range of what's on that nanometer scale, are all energy that can be consumed. And many things that you can't see with your eye, that's the emissions that we give off, which you can't see, are food for them. It's important for you to understand this because This becomes the culprit to why there is so much confusion amongst people and why it seems like they're often urged to naturally go into conflict with others, even the ones that have been the most instrumental at assisting them to get to where they are now.
I just watched a video on a girl kind of decoding languages. And for the past 2 months, I've been trying to learn Arabic. And I have also realized in this time that English sets us up to subconsciously automatically think negatively and lock us into negative thinking. And here's how. For instance,
You know they say English is a curse. The English language is you putting curses on yourself. And if I'm not mistaken, I looked this up a while ago and I have to look it up again. Isn't English considered one of the newer language? Like it's definitely not no ancient language. And then if we know already what we understand about these folks, they don't be doing nothing for no reason. And it seem to all be rooted in deep, dark, evil stuff.
in English, we would say, I am angry. We are defining ourselves as a whole as angry, which locks us in mentally. But in Arabic, I'll say it in English because I don't really know how to speak Arabic, obviously. They say anger is passing through me. It's a motion. It doesn't define you and it doesn't keep you stuck. We say I am anxious instead of saying anxiety is passing through me. Now, obviously, this sounds small, but subconsciously, when we say I am blank, we think this is who I am. So it is harder to get out of that thinking.
Sure is. Sure is. Oh my gosh. You be mad about something and you be mad for a minute.
And instead of saying stuff like, I am behind, we say the timing hasn't aligned yet.
The older I get, though, that's something I've been, throughout the years trying to, consistently work on not letting other people's actions affect my emotions and how I feel, because somebody being rude to you, and I hate rude people, but I also hated the fact that I would let that upset me, right? And it's kind of like you letting their actions and then you get on that level with them and then it affects your mood. But then see, I'm the type of person that now I'm mad about it probably for a good portion of the day, if not the rest of the day, still thinking about that in the back of my mind. I can't believe they just did it. You know what I'm saying? You still feeling a little way about it, a little upset and in disbelief, right? So like I say, throughout the years, whatever, and I'm noticing I'm getting better with that or whatever, just learning how to just let stuff just sometimes you gotta just let stuff roll off your back. Now I get it. Sometimes you gotta let people know, because it is crazy how some people just be out here who I don't know who raised you. How do you just think that you could just be that way, act that way towards people, right? But like I said, you just that zen, that calm, learn how to stay in that calm state, just let it roll off your back, whatever,
By saying the things in the positive annotations, it allows us to look forward to moving on or knowing that this is going to pass instead of being stuck in anger, stuck in anxiety, stuck in sadness, etc. And no, you do not have to change languages, but you should start keeping in mind how you structure your sentences because it might just keep you stuck in something negative. Bye.
Michael Jackson wanted to shoot a whole movie about the ancient Memphis, Egypt. That's King Ramsey, right? And Remember the Time. So look, Michael Jackson reported one.
Y'all notice how the people are brown, melanated. When he shot, that's one of the first things back in the day when I first saw that video that I noticed. Because everything has been colorless washed. Come on, if y'all here, for the people who with me, you already know.
To make a movie about ancient Egypt. He approached Steven Spielberg, but they declined, right? So Michael Jackson did Remember the Time in retaliation because he wanted us to remember because they wouldn't let him do the whole movie. While Michael Jackson was the king in the short film video, did showcase his interest in ancient Egypt. John Singleton had to convince Jackson record label to allow all black cast production team.
Because they're colorless washing history, and they do this. And Hollywood in the music industry is another way that they do this and indoctrinate the people, y'all. I literally watched them colorless wash King Tut. Oh my God, is anybody in here with me? Like, who remember first learning about King Tut? King Tut was brown or black, like they like to call us black, even though we ain't black. Like, but anyways, King Tut, if man,
Even go so far as quit because they wanted all white in the whole video. Remember the time. So what Michael Jackson do? The King of Memphis, Elvis, he went and married the daughter to be tied to Memphis. That was more symbolic than you think. So when Michael Jackson died, they shot a movie in Egypt with an Egyptian character over there. Look, he's the filmmaker to throw another jab at Michael. They didn't want that Memphis Jukin to get connected to Egypt and Michael Jackson.
Man, look, when you understand that, like I said, they be having people, our folks that, inside help from our folks, and then we also got people that our folks that get on and they be trying to tell us in subtle ways, and a lot of times it go over a lot of our heads. We don't catch it because they can't just come right out and say it. Because they control too. You know what I'm saying? Like these people that these record labels and these industries and stuff that be behind these people, they be controlled. They not finna, you know what I'm saying, invest all this money in you and allow you to get all this money, and then you not gonna follow their script though. You gotta follow their script. But when people start to realize that worldwide indigenous people of these lands are people that look like you and me, they're melanated people, then they'll understand. They'll understand ain't no way no ancient Egyptians was colorless. Like, look, y'all, these folks be taking our jacket off of us and putting it on them and other people. Ooh, I'm about to go on a tangent. I gotta save that. For the next video. Y'all gonna be kicking it over at me. You gonna realize it's gonna be a lot of stuff. I apologize ahead of time, but I really don't, because it's always gonna be new people coming in hearing a lot of stuff for the first time. But you're gonna hear me reiterating a lot of this same stuff throughout videos, depending on what we're talking about. I need people to again understand it. It's right here in our face. It's right here in our face. And then go do your own research, as they love to say. You gotta do it deep though. Because even on certain like search engines like Google and all of that, you gotta be you gotta know how to word certain stuff too, that I've noticed and realized when you looking it up. Because they ain't finna just easily give you man, if you know, you know. Yeah, if you tapping in, a lot of stuff you don't even have to look up. You can. But we already know. We already know this, and we knowing this spiritually. We already come here knowing y'all. Y'all gotta remember what it felt like to be a kid. I'm telling you. It's still in you. You know. You gotta go back and remember what you already felt like you knew when you first started going through these people's school systems, and they kept drilling in the stuff pertaining to history, what they wanted you to know, what they wanted you to believe in, their history that they giving you, their version of history, as they say. You gotta go back to what you already felt like you knew before they started teaching you what they wanted you to know. You already know this. He definitely was getting it. Because one thing the melanated folks gonna do, I don't care where you're located at on the globe, we gonna get a little good groove session in, okay? Like, it just be in us. But go ahead.
People who
Hey, don't it be feeling so good? Like when you be getting it, and then they be really, you be really, you know what I'm saying? Feel like you gotta get it when your folks start hyping you up. Y'all, if y'all know, y'all know that feeling of like you already know you be getting it, and then your folks start hyping you up. Like it's just the level of excitement and just happiness you feel. Like, oh, now you really be feeling like you gotta get it. Like, hey,
have higher melanin, let's say Africans or Indians also to some extent, South Americans, would they be more closer to the divine or have that divine connect?
Yeah. So melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that. But on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world, really, in Native America, right? And all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been systematically on purpose persecuted. Not only through the melanin and their ability to hold light, they were guardians of certain lands. It's what's underneath the land. So a lot of people think like, oh, the war for Iraq is for oil.
the reason, the fact that people think that this whole thing really be about when it comes to these folks, like they just looking at you saying they don't like the way you look, y'all, it's much deeper than that. And they know that. Well, they little underlings, colorless underlings, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they know it. They really do believe it be about the looks type of situation. And I just be looking at them like, I know we ain't talking about looks, but okay. But I will say for a fact, them higher ups, the ones who be looking at their own people in their community as beneath them and below them, if they not, you know what I'm saying, at the top or echelon like them, that they don't even be realizing. They know this already, y'all. This stuff is it goes deeper than you think.
But it's not just for oil. That's what they tell you on the news. Underneath the earth, there's very important portals. And whoever controls these portals controls the energy that flows in and out of the earth. Some people call them stargates. So these indigenous were protectors. They had melanin. They were able to hold the light. And they had specific codes, which were protectors of certain lands. But that's why, if you want to say Columbus and all these other, the history books will tell you one thing. But no, they were really coming to like take the land of the indigenous and to take the protectors of the land out of the land.
And then you see where he said that, right? Because they say, Columbus, his whole little thing, y'all, he really believed apparently that he was like, what he was doing was like spiritual, like on some religious type thing. And then you see how they came and they giving the folks a new religion, their religion that they want them to follow, want them to believe in. Y'all, these people be going on dang trips out of the country, going to indigenous, finding indigenous tribes and lands or whatever all over the world to convert them into their religion. This stuff is bigger than what a lot of people don't like realize. Like, and these folks know this, not the regular everyday Joe. I'm not talking about your next door neighbor Bob. Bob probably don't even know this. I'm talking about the colorless that's running this. They know, they understand this. And remember what I just said earlier, I be sitting around doing something, maybe I'm doing something with my kids or just doing something around the house or whatever, like, right, or whatever I'm doing, and stuff I've noticed it's in like, sometimes stuff will just come to me, right? So one of a random thing that is just like came to me or whatever, right, was the realization that, y'all, slavery was, they say, okay, you have some people that be like, okay, it was a financial thing or whatever, yeah, they trying to build a country and all that, they too lazy to do it themselves. But a realization that came to me one day was that, y'all, slavery was spiritual more than anything. Yes, we got this other stuff that it came out of it, whatever, right? That these folks wanted or whatever, built the land or whatever, blah, 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 blah. but it was also spiritual. Spiritual. And what he just said right there at the end, when he said they come and they take the land of these indigenous tribes, that let me know. When I got that is real. It was spiritual, y'all. Spiritual. And when you look worldwide, like I said, and you pay attention, y'all know y'all need to go watch this dude named Ace, ACE. I'm gonna post a link to his channel at the bottom of this channel. This dude be going around the world, and I be watching his channel from time to time, and I love it. He be going around the world showing these indigenous tribes of melanated people in all these different parts of the world. Like I said, when you realize that, and this is why they say this divide and conquer thing. I'm gonna save it for the. I'm sorry, y'all. This is supposed to be on that next video. We talk about this indigenous thing. I'm so sorry. Slavery was spiritual. It was also spiritual, if not really mainly. Slavery was spiritual, y'all. Slavery was spiritual. One thing, if you don't know nothing else, they'll have a reason that they'll give us to why things happen or why they did a certain thing or whatever, right? But it's always the real reason behind that people don't even know. It'd be a much bigger reason, because the reason that they give us, you know what I'm saying, it'll make sense. Like, oh, okay. But it actually be a whole nother reason behind it as to why it actually happened the way it happened and what the real reason is for why they, did the thing. Come on.
We know that 1 plus 1 is 2. So it can't never be 3. So what that means is, well, what they failed to teach me in science class was, what they never elaborate on in science class is, you got the 2 X chromosomes, which are big, and then you got the big X chromosome, and you got the small Y chromosome. Now, they never tell you why the Y chromosome is so small.
They said this man act different now. What's his name? Is it Pharaoh? Young Pharaoh or something like that, right? Let me know if y'all have ever followed him. Is he different now? They said this dude, he used to be dropping that knowledge on folks, and all of a sudden he came back different. All I know is, again, y'all people keep running around calling everything conspiracy theory. They ain't doing nothing different. It's the same playbook. I don't know how people don't see it by now. I'm starting to think a lot of y'all is agents. What they be calling y'all bots gotta be, because it's a common thing. People be dropping that, you know what I'm saying, that knowledge that you still have people that be like, oh, they tripping, they just making it up. But they gain a certain amount of following the people that's like tapping in and really listening or whatever, right? And really making them think. And all of a sudden these people end up disappearing, or they disappear for a while and they come back completely different. They basically everything they were saying before, they backtracking on it, right? Or they just don't talk about it no more at all. Or and I mean, you could say that like maybe they just said everything they had to say about it, right? But the whole backtracking thing, it's like, I don't know who done paid you a visit. Or they get a case thrown on them. All of a sudden it's a case on them, and these folks going to jail for a long, long time. I'm not saying that people can be one way on the internet and be a different way in real life. But what I'm saying is, if you don't know nothing else, again, you have to learn how to be able to learn from history. Everything these folks say is not true. Sometimes these people be lying, and they hold the cards. They hold the power. So you better believe, yes, I think that there is a possibility that sometimes they be throwing cases on people, in my opinion. I think some people be getting cases thrown on them. Because you be surprised how you can make stuff look like. Then they got that AI, this AI coming in strong. People can make videos now, making it look like it's you saying this or you doing that. And it's only going to get better. It's going to be harder for people to even realize what's real, what's fake. So you will be out here and said the wrong thing to upset somebody, and now they didn't set up and made a whole AI video of you making it look like you did something that you didn't even do. And that'll be a good way to control people. Another way to control people, to not, say certain stuff that they may not want you to say or to talk about or whatever. But come on.
Or why the women have two X chromosomes and why the man has an X and a Y. You see, because and then just common sense, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 comes after 1. The letter Y comes after X. So now they say the man has an X and Y chromosome because apparently the Y chromosome came after the X. So if the woman has the two X chromosomes and doesn't have a Y, and the man has the Y, the woman came before the man. But I'm going to show and prove this even more. But that's just a little common sense for you. Now, in science class, they don't tell you why the Y chromosome is so small. I'll tell you why. Because the Y chromosome is 5 times smaller.
Well, they call it Mother Nature. It's crazy because certain things, like I said, you don't even be having to do like everything. Got to be such a deep dive. Like a lot of this stuff, just even with the most simplest things that we be thinking that it was just simple. They just named it that, or they just called it that. No. Like I said, if you don't, y'all better learn how to sit back and study, folks. Just like they be studying us. You don't, because you could just sit back and watch somebody. That's a form of studying people. Watching people patterns. Just watch, these people don't do nothing for no reason, y'all. I'm telling you. Even it's down to the most simplest things that you be thinking, oh, it's just simple. They just do it's for a reason.
Than the X chromosome because the Y chromosome is a genetic defect of the X chromosome. When you take 2.8% of the X chromosome from itself, it becomes a Y chromosome. We know that the woman is an X chromosome and the man is a Y chromosome. So the man is a genetic defective offspring of the black woman. This is why we have nipples and we don't use them. We don't use our nipples one time our entire life. We don't produce milk, nothing. All a man's testicles is, or your ball sack, as some people like to call it, is the uterus of a woman protruding out of the body. This is why men have to get circumcised when they are born, because the extra skin on their penis is actually the skin of the wall of the vagina, which is just being exposed due to the penis being just a vaginal wall protruding out. Caucasians understand this truth. This is why they can take a man right now and turn his reproductive system from a penis and ball sack into a vagina and uterus.
Now, the whole sciencey stuff with the X and the Y chromosome, it's been so long talking about that stuff at school. I ain't even gonna sit here and pretend like I'm just really was just like, oh yeah. But there you go. He simplified it for you. Okay. When he said that this is why, again, for real, like he said, they understand this. This is why they could take the man's, you know what I'm saying? You know what? And change that thing. Like a woman's. When they, you know what I'm saying, when them folks decide that they want to, you know what I'm saying, have a change and be a woman. Who y'all see be the main ones, or was the main ones that be, when this stuff be coming out with all of this, like, different genders and all that, and then, you know, eventually our folks hop on the bandwagon. But where y'all think all this stuff be coming?
Because they understand that the man was once upon a time a woman. So they can literally take a man right now in the surgical room and turn him back into a woman. So Adam didn't create Eve, Eve created Adam. A man is just a genetic defect offspring of the black woman. So you are lying to people in that Bible.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'll go look this up. Isn't there usually like more girls born than boys? I'm not saying this has like any like correlation. I mean, it could, but like, yeah, right? Because I know, it gotta be. Like, I'll go look it up, but I'm pretty sure it is, if I'm not mistaken. Last I read. Said it gotta be anyways, because when you go in the store to go shopping for some, I got all boys. When you go in the store to go shop for some boy clothes, it be like a little bitty section compared to the girl section. It's like a lot to choose from. But
I was thinking, back in the day when artists didn't have cameras, they used to use paintings in order to visualize the things that they saw. With that being said, Maybe that's why you can see many pictures in the 1700s and early 1800s where it actually showed American Indians depicted as dark-skinned aboriginals.
But y'all, the mind games these people play, like literally on some the gaslighting being saying, they'll say, "Nah, that's a colorless person that they ran out of. They didn't have the tools at the time to they ran out of paint or whatever they was using to make the dang Europeans colorless on the picture. So by the time they made it to the Indians, they didn't have enough of that color left, so they had to use the resources around them, and they just made them look brown. You know, they made them look dark, like, you know, just something crazy like that. Like,
from the skin tone to the hair texture, I mean, everything used to look just like how the real original Americans did. So I had to do some research, and immediately I began to ask, well, when did we start getting this light skin imagery, almost as if we were Asian? So the first thing that came to my mind is, when did Asians start migrating to the Americas in the 1800s? And sure enough, it said a significant wave of Chinese immigration started in the 1850s due to the California gold rush. And then I started thinking, well, when were cameras invented where they could actually take pictures of the times that we were in? And sure enough, right there in 1839 was when commercial cameras were first invented, right around the time when we were importing Asians into this country. And at this point, I started to get real curious. And I wondered, is that who they started?
They're not going to tell you outright. You have to know how to look stuff up and connect the dots yourself. If, again, you don't already know this spiritually.
Taking pictures of and depicting as the true American Indians, but calling them Native Americans? Interesting. Then that's when I got curious and started to ask, well, when did the United States stop even doing treaties with the American Indians? And sure enough, it was in 1871, the same year that the United States was converted into a corporation, and they pulled out the Naturalization Act to start naturalizing American Indians into Blackadonians and 14th Amendment U.S. citizen shadow. And you know what else I noticed during those times? The Naturalization Act also excluded Asian Americans. Maybe it's just because they were too busy teaching them our American culture so that they could educate the blacks that they were from Africa somewhere, so they no longer had treaty protection and rights that attached them here to the lands here in America. And all I could think about was those HBCUs, historically black college universities. Were those even created to actually help us, or were they built to actually teach us how to be the new blacks? And how many of those actually existed today? And of those 107 HBCUs, how many were created between the times of 1865 and 1900, post the Civil War era, when they were naturalizing us into the new black?
Yeah, when you realize that these all these different places that's supposed to be for us, and all of that, be having either a colorless face behind it, or, you know, one of our own as the face that really worked for them folks. I'm telling you, this stuff is deeper than what y'all think, man. This stuff is deeper than what these people are. Very calculated. They know what they're doing. Again, you don't just go around conquering lands and all of that, not knowing how to be very manipulative, calculated. Come on, like, for real. Y'all, are y'all serious right now? Are we still having this conversation in 2026 where people just can't fathom the fact that these folks then lied about this? HBCUs, really? You think they was just, oh, we're just gonna create something for them? They don't even like you, for real. Them evil higher up dang colorless don't even like you. You think they really just one day turned over a new leaf and was just like, yeah, we're gonna create something for them, and these HBCU something for them or something. That's, again, they be giving you one reason, but the real reason why they be doing stuff be sinister. Okay? There's always a real sinister reason. In my opinion, from what I have noticed and realized, there's always a real sinister reason as to why they are actually doing stuff. If they wanted to give us something so dang bad, forget a HBC. Where is that dang of meal and 40 acres at? Come on, sir. My bad.
Which made me think, maybe this is why they were always started or funded by Caucasian people. Because you had John D. Rockefeller, who was also behind funding schools like Howard, Tuskegee, Hampton, Morehouse, Spelman. Even some schools like Cheney, Lincoln University were also started by Caucasians. And people wonder why John D. Rockefeller started the General Board of Education in the 1900s, just so that he could generally educate people on who we really.
And kids ain't learning nothing up there for real. I'm so glad I took mine out and decided to homeschool. I'm gonna save that conversation for another day. I actually talked about that, 2 separate videos on the channel I have with my family. I had to do 2 separate ones and I was really talking that talk on the first video, and somehow the sound that went out midway through, I didn't realize it. So I had to upload a separate video. And by the second video, I ain't gonna lie, I was just like, I generally spoke to my topic still, but I was like, man, dang, I was really snapping on that first one, but yeah.
Really weren't. At this point,
indoctrinate our kids, y'all. Y'all see them folks taking their kids about them schools. You better, y'all for sure, our folks for sure. Y'all know when we should be getting our kids about their schools. They ain't got no business up and they indoctrinating the kids. You heard what I said. That's a conversation though that I'm gonna have on Friday. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that on our Let's Talk session on Friday. Cause apparently it was a colorless woman I came across. They was talking about her on TikTok up there. She got caught talking crazy on the Zoom call. I forgot her name, but I'm pretty sure some of y'all come across this video. I know who I'm talking about. She got caught talking crazy on the Zoom call. Talking about they too dumb to realize. We gonna talk about it though, cause that's another one too. Y'all, we be having our folks in them schools. Them people don't even be. Come on.
I was convinced. Not only did these people lie to us about everything, they took our whole identity.
Didn't I say they put our, this is why I said it, man, the internet also helped us because it's connecting us, a lot of us, to other people that are like-minded people like us. Y'all, these conversations I'm having on this channel, my family done already heard this. Oh my God, they so glad I'm on here talking. They done already heard these soapboxes, okay? And it's so crazy when I come across other like-minded individuals on social media. Literally, it's like they saying the same stuff that's coming out of my mouth, but in a different body, in a different face that I done already said. So that let me know that a lot of us, we already know this. We already be peeping it. We already been peeped it. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's for a lot of us, we just peeping it naturally. It's right there. And we be looking at the rest of our folks like, y'all don't see this? Y'all ain't catching this? Y'all not getting this? I be saying this all the time, y'all. These people be taking our identity. They take our jacket. When I say jacket, I mean that in the terms of like identity. They take our jacket off of us and put it either on them or other people. Okay? If they don't put it on them, they're gonna put it on other people. Come on.
These people some liars, man. These some liars.
Of mass control exist that the public would never dream of. I know, because I helped develop them. They call it psychotronic warfare. It's a research program dealing with mind control. These bastards have finally decoded the human brain, every emotion we have, every thought that we experience.
That's crazy. Ain't they talking about that right now? I forgot what they call it, but our little biosphere, whatever we have around us, what's going on with these phones and stuff like that. I know they ain't tripping on that because I said this years ago too. Dang, excuse me. I don't know why every time I get on the camera, I'm either got a burp or all of a sudden my nose is running or whatever, or my voice trying to go out. But anyways, I remember saying this years ago to my cousin and my husband, right? when I was like, hey, y'all ever notice how you be just thinking about something? Now, looking it up is different because, yes, they will track the cookies and all of that to know who to advertise you based off what you look up on Safari. Y'all, but no, you'll be thinking about something. And I noticed this years ago to where they start talking about it more, you know what I'm saying, now on TikTok or whatever. Because years ago, I wasn't like, you know, scrolling on TikTok or whatever. Like, but anyways, so I remember saying this years ago to my husband because when my husband came across, he showed me, he said to me like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, they saying the same, you be saying, I'm saying, been peeping game. You will be thinking about something and all of a sudden it get advertised to you. So and the first time it happened, I'm thinking like, dang, or you be talking to somebody about something. And my cousin witnessed it for herself. Because one time we were talking about something, and then I would say the next day or so, all of a sudden I'm getting advertisements for it. And we sitting there looking at each other like, huh? Like, so to see like, you know what I'm saying? Now here we are, you know, these years later, whatever, people, more and more people are starting to talk about this and realize and talking about this biofield and all of that. And people thinking it's just a conspiracy theory. Oh, is this really real? Y'all, this stuff is real. I'm telling you. They gonna wait a couple decades, however long, when they decide to release it to the public. These folks be in the background experimenting with stuff that we can't even imagine or even fathom. The same stuff, like I said, they gonna tell you that you either conspiracy theorist or you crazy or it's not real. Whole time they in the background experimenting with it. Come on, like,
they produce evoked
how many of y'all believe this is true?
electrical impulses firing in the brain. These spooks have developed a weapon that can lock onto those impulses, read them, and then control them remotely. They can control everything a person does.
Would that explain the mass bobbies?
Voices. That's how they get you. The spooks have developed a technology called synthetic telepathy. They beam.
You know, them people that be seem like normal, average, everyday people, then all of a sudden, you heard what he said? Them voices. That's how they get you all of a sudden. They could not even have a family history of mental health disorders, nothing like that. All of a sudden, these folks starting to hear voices, or you know what I'm saying, they ain't gotta be necessarily living a hard life or going through nothing traumatic or nothing like that. And
frequency at you and let your skeleton conduct the voices like an antenna. Sounds like ghosts.
They already sold us. What's that experiment, y'all? Where they was experimenting on them folks about mind control. MK Ultra. They already, again, another one. Y'all think they was just in there experimenting, trying to figure out how to do mind control on folks for no reason, with no plans of ever actually using it? Why would they even sit up there to think to even try to figure out how to do something like that in the first place? Oh my God, y'all.
They've targeted individuals for experimentation. God only knows what they're going to make these people do. I am talking about the manipulation of human behavior. Our emotions are just electrical patterns on a computer, and they can transmit new ones to us. Whatever they want us to feel, we'll feel. And I found out where they're getting these patterns from.
Another way I think they do this too, like you said, whatever they want us to feel, we'll feel, is through the media. Which, of course, I feel like by now most of us, at least, if not all of us, to a certain degree, we can at least agree on that. The media is definitely one of the ways that they control the masses emotionally, you know what I'm saying, based off what they showing on the media, what they pushing out and all of that, to get them to feel or think a certain type of way about something, whether that be, you know, politically or whatever, right? Come on, sir.
And we will attempt to keep him in a state of impaired recollection while monitoring his responses.
Oh yeah, and these people watch you on the spiritual realm too, the dream realm. We'll talk about that. I ain't playing with y'all.
Neural transceiver taken from subject number 150. An 18-year-old
for other purposes. You know, people be trying. I'm playing. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Female drug addict. A brainwave pattern indicates lengthy periods of depression, apathy, and listlessness. We will now synchronize Mr. Bishop's pattern to it and monitor his behavior. 1600 hours. Subject Bishop has been pacified.
I guess there's a phase 2 on the way. 2? Because 1 wasn't enough. I guess you were the dry run. I don't get it. Neither did I. I couldn't figure it out either, man. And then I looked up. Cell phone towers. Major power transmission network. There's one on every block. They can control the whole city.
Phase 2 is not. Why would they even make a movie about this? Who just sat down and thought, like, to make a script like this? This was what, 2003? Here we in 2026, freshly into 2026. And even before 2026, you started hearing people talk about these how everybody has a biosphere, like I said, whatever they call it. I can't remember the exact term for it, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. All right. I'll keep on trusting everything he's supposed to do.
Operational. Signal strength is optimal. We have 22% coverage.
Gentlemen, you are witnesses to the future. 22% of the city is now under our control. Every conceivable human emotion has been recorded and cataloged. We've started out slowly, broadcasting a waveform for apathy and boredom, but we will expand. In the future, we hope to test its effectiveness on worker productivity, the crime rate, perhaps even the next election. For resistance, phase 1 has ruled that out. We are virtually
Y'all catch that next election part?
invisible. We exist so the general population.
And y'all know what I already told y'all in one of my previous videos. They gonna put whoever they want to put in office. That stuff is a show. It's another way for folks to be distracted, fighting about something when there's real life stuff going on behind the scenes. Heinous stuff going on behind the scenes that we wouldn't even be able to fathom. Meanwhile, they keeping us distracted with this whole left versus the right and this versus. Yeah, all right. We got bigger
For decades. LSD fed to U.S. Army soldiers. Brainwashing experiments. MK Ultra. They're just a bunch of guinea pigs to these people.
My name is Trevor Constantine, and if you're still alive, then I'm probably dead. No matter what people may be telling you, I wasn't crazy, just desperate.
Now they trying to be funny with this one. Now look, they put that in the movie, and that's a common thing you see when people be coming out here when they talking about this medical system. Even people in the field job that has studied this stuff. They telling you about, you know what I'm saying, the going against these people agenda. They coming out telling you, oh, it's secure for this and that. What they saw and all of that. Just anything they got to do with these folks' systems or whatever, right? And these people end up either missing, mysteriously found, gone, spirit, gone up out of here, soulless body somewhere. They call them crazy or a liar. It was a hoax. They don't know what they talking about. They didn't run enough research, whatever. Or they get put in jail for something, I guess. Like, which I don't know. Like, if you just, why even waste the time putting them in jail if you could just, I guess, get them up out of here or whatever. But you know, whatever.
Killing you is a last resort.
They put that in there knowing people, a lot of people already done caught on to that playbook. They love using that crazy one. Or them folks then.
How about those nosebleeds you've been getting? You ever had those before? Or the voices. Have they been talking to you yet? Listen to me very carefully, Mr. Bishop. And believe me when I tell you, you are a lab rat. You are a lab rat. A test in human behavioral modification. Mind control. God help us if you fail this test. They're gonna make you do something terrible. Something violent.
Didn't I just say, is that with them mass boppies? I ain't saying with all of them, because you know some folks, you know what I'm saying? You know, be doing it. But okay, the what's his name? What's that? Y'all gotta forgive me because my mom brain be braining. Okay, it be mom braining. But what's his name, y'all? The president, the one that got assassinated. What's his name? I can't remember this man's name. Cause dang, I swear it's like one of the most famous presidents. They don't let you get it. Oh my God! Like the one that wasn't he supposed to have been with Marilyn Monroe or something? Marilyn Monroe, man, whatever. Y'all know. Remember the guy who had did that? They said I remember learning about this in school. They was teaching about it. The man claimed though that, and I think was still to I don't know if he's still alive now, but was keeping the same story. He said all he remembered was seeing I think it was a polka dotted yellow dress or something like that. And then it was like he blanked out. And then before he knew it, he had did what he did. What that sound like? What that sound like to y'all?
589 North Colfax. 589.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
Every word you say is a frequency that creates an effect around you. Every time you think, you move, everything you do goes into that central toroidal structure of your atoms. Just to show you the beauty of the human voice, this is the work of John Stuart Reid and his partners and the cymoscope, just to show you the infinite number of shapes of sound as sound manifests in physical form. Every frequency has its own very specific shape, and there are an infinite number of these. Sound manifests reality. The moment you make a sound, it goes on in three-dimensional, in all space, as a bubble out of your mouth. When you see the three-dimensional bubble cut in half, and you look at the cross-section of it, can you see the cross there in the middle? And you start seeing the inspirations behind the crosses.
Everything owes.
Well, I'll say this, like with everything else, even the different type of symbols and stuff that they use, it's not for no reason. And it's usually not the reason that you think that they're using it for. It's always a different reason, a different, deeper meaning or whatever, why they doing what they doing.
Existence solely.
That's me throwing water. That's me throwing water on some of y'all saying, get up. Get up.
Completely to sound.
And when you drill deeper into some of these images, these cymatic patterns of sound, it becomes even more obvious what these guys knew, because you find this, a cross in a circle, and you realize that this cross in a circle being the source of sound.
And look, some of them look like little shapes of a snowflake. Me and my son was reading about our oldest son. My oldest son was reading about the different, you know how no snowflake has like the same shape, like different shapes or whatever of a snowflake. Yeah.
Was the inspiration for the symbols when they came up with them for the religious denominations, telling us that they actually understand cymatics, they understand source, they understand resonance, and they hid it in the symbols with which they then keep oppressing and enslaving the people.
Got the folks fighting over which religion is right and which is, they don't even realize, playing the game on the masses from all angles.
Look at the patterns. Magnetrons. This is why so many magnificent rose windows resemble cymatic patterns so closely. This is why they look like the petrified pulsations of a star.
Even the medicine.
These are very distinct, like, designs. Like,
wheel in Native American culture is just a cross in a circle, telling us that sound heals. And they're absolutely right, sound does heal. Because if sound is the primary source of all things, we should be able to use sound for everything. And that's exactly what we're dealing with here. Sound levitates, it boils water, it creates light.
and they was actually experimenting with this, trying to figure out how to do this too. I forgot where the exact website or whatever that I was reading it or whatever, but like, just if y'all go down a rabbit hole of just looking up the different, like, what do they call it, like, paddings or stuff that they didn't got padded or whatever for different like ideas and stuff like that, you will realize a lot of this stuff that they be trying to act like it's so far-fetched. Oh, it's crazy, it's not real. They be in the background, like I said, experimenting with it, trying to figure out how to get it to work.
It creates DNA, it heals, it destroys pathogens. It's the precursor to electromagnetism. This is an important thing.
My husband didn't believe me. I said this. Me and my husband was still dating in high school at the time. Just tell y'all how long I've been on to this. Me and my husband was still dating. And you know, just, you know, kids in high school at the time, and I randomly having a conversation with him about how I was convinced that the ancient civilizations were more advanced and smarter than us in a lot of ways that we wouldn't even realize or could even imagine. Like, even with, you know, technology and stuff like that, like, they say ain't nothing new under the sun, y'all. It's a possibility all this stuff that already been made. You know what I'm saying? They didn't advance it even more. Like I told him, he like, nah, you tripping, you crazy. You feel like they were more advanced than it could be a possibility if some catastrophic thing happened where like all that got wiped out and it's like you starting all over from zero. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like the information is lost and all of that is lost. That stuff that was created. Then yeah, of course people would think like, oh, this not real, that this not, but again, but here it is, you see that they are, and they do, in fact, be they be experimenting and trying to figure out how to use things that was all supposed to be understood and all that from ancient civilizations. Y'all, like, come on.
Sound causes electromagnetic effect. No?
Y'all don't take nothing else from this video. I just want y'all to understand they are not telling 100% of the truth on anything at this point. I'm convinced. Like,
the other way around in the universe. And this is amazing because when all of this starts falling into place, everything can be explained. We can truly start to understand everything about the atomic structure, from the smallest atoms to everything in creation.
Let's see if the door is open.
so you finna get in trouble.
nobody allowed in there? Nobody's allowed in there at all?
No, they have a wedding going on.
Oh, is there any time where public is allowed to come in here?
No, this is not a church. This is not a church.
Oh, it's not a church?
This is an office building for the archdiocese.
It's a big office.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Yo, I believe that they've been harvesting our energy, black people energy, for the longest time.
Duh.
But we keep confusing this shit for racism.
Not duh to him, but come on, sir.
But it's not racism, man. It's white people cannot live without us constantly in chaos. They can't live and survive without us in stress, low vibrational state. They can't live, and I'm starting to believe that most of these murdering that's going on screen, all these lynching and shit, I believe it's a way for them to get us all on the same thinking part.
Okay, my bad. My camera died. I don't know how because it's on the charger. But anyways, I keep telling y'all that this is spiritual. And then if you notice that they, again, going off the same playbook, it's like the stuff calms down. And then after every so, I would have to pay like, close enough attention to it. But after every so, I don't know, couple months or however many months or whatever, that wait, y'all know, some of y'all already know what I'm talking about. That waiting period that they go through, and then it dials back up again. All of a sudden now you seeing them getting unjustly bowed by the police, right? Like he said, then you seeing the people up in the trees, seeing our folks up in the tree. And then too, when you interact with when you interact with them, right? Not all of them, but when you interact with them or whatever, you will notice that, like I say again, when they say people got eyes to see, ears to hear, and another one, when they also say what's understood does not need to be explained. People do not always have to come right out and tell you what they thinking or what they're feeling or their intentions. You can just see it and feel it. And I've experienced this. When it's like when they see you like happy, right? And like genuinely like thriving or in a happy, like calm, or nice space, you can feel they have like this energy about them, like, right, with a lot of them that they hate that. It's like it does something to them. Like, for real. I'm not joking with you. I'm not playing. Like I said, for y'all who know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody ain't gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that ran across it, but they ain't, like I said, they I guess they ain't tapped in like that, or whatever you want to call it. They not they're not aware like that, I guess. I don't know. But for those of you who know, you know what I'm talking about. Like this man is saying right here, this is real. Like it does, it's like it genuinely disturbs them. Like, real talk. Like this is something else going on here.
Use all our energy into that incident or murder. You know what I mean? Like for example, George Floyd, right?
Like they feed off of it.
I believe
like they say that energy vampire.
These aren't coincidence. I believe that they do these things to have us all in the same mindset, the same wave of thinking. So we pour all the energy into that event. You know what I mean? And that lowers our vibration. That lowers our frequency.
It sure do, because when you see stuff like that, and then they purposely, you see it plastered like on the news, on social media. So then you see that, and you subconsciously, and they say the subconscious rules has more control over, the certain actions and things that we do more than our, conscious mind does, right? So you see this, and now you subconsciously on edge. You get what I'm saying? Like, especially if you know what I'm saying, maybe be coming across a police officer. We know the conversations that we be having or we'll have to have with our kids when it comes to dealing with these folks for real, and when it comes to authority and all of that. And that's another reason too. And I'm gonna speak on this on a separate video. Um, Folks be trying to tell you how to raise your kids and how to discipline them. Oh no, no, Cause see, mine ain't gonna get no slap on the wrist. They ain't there 9 times out of 10. No, they ain't. And for one, I ain't trying to raise no dang Bob Boppy. No man's Bob Boppy. Like, don't nobody, come on, whatever. Y'all know it's true. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Come on.
And I believe that's what these racists, we said racist, but I don't think it's racist. That movie, Sinner was telling us what the fuck is going on. These people has been harvesting our energy for the longest fucking time, and we think it's just racism. No, it's not just racism.
Didn't I just say, it came to me one day, slavery was spiritual. That went on during slavery, do you understand spiritually how much that has done to our people? And you know that they theorize that trauma, if I'm saying this correctly, can be like passed down, like encoded into you or whatever, right? So even though you didn't go through maybe that specific type of trauma that your ancestors did, it's already encoded, you know what I'm saying, in your DNA or whatever. And I believe that, and I be trying not to run off on y'all. I'm telling y'all, man, look, stop playing with these people. Y'all thinking these people just, no, they ain't doing that, or it ain't that deep. And keep on thinking that. Keep thinking that. Because they banking on y'all thinking like that. And honestly, I think that when they be, when it comes to them feeling like, oh, our people ain't smart or something like that, I think that got more so to do with seeing the stuff that I feel. Like I said, for a lot of us, it's like, how y'all don't see this? It's right here in our face. When it comes to seeing this stuff right here, that's right here in our face, that they doing and they been doing with the same playbook. More so than they got to do with the dang educational system, because you got a lot of smart, sorry for lack of a better term, but smart dumb people. Like people that's book smart, but they don't have like no common sense. And I get it, we all got a different type of common sense. Like, you know, we done all had our duh moments. You know, I know I have or whatever. Like everybody has. I don't care what you say. Don't even come up here lying. But the point that I'm making is these people been running the same play. They've been running the same play. And if you step back, literally, just pay attention. You just gotta pay a little bit of attention. Like, not even that much. You gonna see it. Again, y'all better learn how to study. Y'all, they be studying us.
It's fucking deeper than that. This is why these people, whitey people, would drive across fucking town just to lynch a black man from a tree, when they could just kill the black man right there. They won't do that. They'll go across town to hang them on a tree. And you know a tree is very spiritual, right? So these people not just breaking our spirit. They're not just breaking our spirit. They're harvesting our energy too while doing it. And this is the same reason why they'll have a lynching, right? And they'll have a whole community come together to witness the lynching. You know why?
Y'all don't, sir, he cooking. Y'all don't understand like the depths of evil that you have to do. I don't think y'all understand. Like, I don't think a lot of y'all understand what type of mind, what type of, like, you can't even be, I'm convinced you can't even be a real human at that point. What type of person you have to be to think, to do things like this. And just imagine y'all, they did stuff like this, and then even worse to y'all, even the damn, even the children. How do you even look at a child? I don't care what group or race the child come from. How do you look at a child and do some of the stuff that these folks do? I'm telling. This is why they want y'all to forget. That's why they taking that Black history up out of schools. That's why they want y'all to forget. See, because y'all gonna forget. And then they going with all this fake inclusion stuff. And they gonna run that. They gonna run that for a while, and they gonna run that back. If you ask me, they just waiting. They just biting the time. One thing they gonna do, they gonna bite. They'll wait. They'll bite some time. Stuff be playing out decades ahead. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I don't know how they gonna run it back or whatever, but what they say, history repeats itself, and it's not nothing new under the sun. They want y'all to forget what these folks capable of. That's what it is.
They're harvesting the energy. They're harvesting the energy of that person that's being lynched.
Crazy.
When we are low, they're happy. Have you guys seen this
this
one episode on Black Mirror?
They be happy as okay. Okay, and then you notice when you happy, when you go around the racist colors, when you, not that you purposely going around them, but you know, when you didn't realize you didn't encounter the one or whatever, right? When you happy, it does something to them for real. They be mad is like for real, like ready to burn the whole building down type of man. Like you can see it on their face too. You know how it does. It literally does something to them. Like y'all, this is a
where this white guy, he gets a type of high when the people is patient. He's a doctor, and he gets a kind of high when his patients are feeling pain. He feels good when they're feeling pain, and I believe this is the same reaction white people get when we are in chaos 24/7. And I'm not just talking in America, worldwide.
Yes.
Worldwide. In Africa, they get a fucking great feeling when we are in low vibrational state. This is one of the reasons why when black people get happy, they don't like it. Have you noticed? Whenever black people are happy and having a good time, they're like, they start to panic because they're like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck?
They come to go out of their way to be in them comments going crazy. And then you notice they come in they come by the dozens. They be coming in groups. Like,
can't drain their energy today. We can't drain it. This is why these lynching that's going on right now, all of these lynching, they're trying to get.
Apparently they got like a whole thing going on TikTok that I saw. Apparently it was something going on with them, being racist about, our folks going to Longhorns, acting like we at a Michelin star restaurant or something. Like, it's Longhorn. Like, folks just trying to record their little TikToks with them at Longhorns, and here they come. Here they come. Like, and I don't even think y'all realize too how much energy it takes to put that type of hatred towards somebody, like, and then on a consistent basis. And then you even bring it to social media, going out of their way to be typing and people barely be commenting on videos of creators that they actually like, So for you have folks that when they decide to comment on the video, that's the type of attention you want to bring to yourself. Talk about a negative person. I'm telling you, this is a different type of level of evil.
Get black people back in the
Just call it what it
same
is.
low vibrational state. And this is what's going on. As I said, the veil is very thin. Everything that's going on is them trying to get black people back into the same wave of thinking, because black consciousness is shifting, it's rising, it's on the fucking rise. I'm an example of that. I wouldn't be making these videos 2 years ago, a year ago, because most of these things now is right in front of me. I'm seeing it.
The future does not exist. It has to be made up. So these tech bros are not predicting the future. They're programming you for a future that fits the narrative that they want to see. And so a lot of y'all have given up even planning for your future, not understanding that you do have control over your own. But you have lost the zest for creating your own future because you're listening to them and you're adopting their narrative for yourself. You stopped imagining. You stopped dreaming. You stopped writing it down. You stopped putting your calendar in place. You need to stand on business about your future. We are in what's called the digital indoctrination age. These people are very, very committed and dedicated to making sure that you become programmed in your mind to stop imagining. We are in a heavy tech transition.
Is that even possible? How people gonna be out here just not imagining? Like at that point, are you even a real person? Are some of y'all going through this for real? Like this can't be a real thing.
Human evolution is happening right now. And those of you who are looping out, and I know everybody is not going to receive this. I know everybody is not going to listen. Everybody's not going to take this in. But because traditional indoctrination is shaky, it's on shaky ground right now. They're fighting tooth and nail trying to get it back. But digital indoctrination, because we got these phones in our hands 80% of the day, the other 10% we sleep. I'm sorry, not 10, 20% we sleep. You have got to get a control of your time, your energy, and of course your mind. Put yourself on a strict program. You need to dream again. You need to get a poster board out, start doing your vision boards.
Who is not dreaming? How do you not dream?
Again, if that's what your thing is, I can't stand vision boards, but whatever. You need to focus and stand on business about your business.
I really just don't think you guys are ready for what I'm about to tell you. You need to have an open mind if you're going to understand that almost everything bad and evil in modern day society is from the fallen angels. In part 1, I told you guys a couple things that the Watchers taught humanity in the times of Noah. So let's get into part 2 and dive a little deeper into just how much heavenly knowledge they shared with us against God's will. Did y'all know that earth signs, moon signs, fire signs, all of that astrology comes from the fallen angels? For example, the fallen angel Araquiel taught humans the signs of the earth, later morphing into earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, all of that comes from Araquiel. Araquiel taught humans to practice geomancy, which is a practice that involves divining the meanings of geographical features. It can also be called feng shui, earth divinations that uses compasses and charms to coordinate interactions between people. Another fallen angel, Shazaquiel, taught us meteorology. That angel's name translates to the shooting star of God. Another angel called Sariel taught humans the courses of the moon and how to measure time through it and attempt to predict the future. Penemu, another fallen angel, taught humans how to use ink and paper. Notice the name, Penemu. And what do we write with? Pencil. Pens. This, y'all, everything is connected. Spelling, spells, cursive, curses. Come on, guys, stay woke. And something that you can see a lot today is that whole divine.
And of all nothing else though, that they be teaching about the root words and all that about stuff in school, which you was in school, you wasn't even really paying attention to stuff like that. I know I wouldn't. I was too busy up in that daydreaming, if I'm gonna be real. But, getting older and going back to hearing about this stuff, reading about this stuff and, finding interest in this stuff, you realize, again, none of this stuff don't be for no reason. Certain words that they use and for certain things, stuff like that, like spelling, like she said, in cursive and all, man.
Feminine thing. That came from the Watchers as well. Remember that they procreated with mortal women. Now these angelic beings lusted for these women, but the women, they lusted for something different. Power. They wanted to know how to use their God-given abilities, such as the ability to give birth in a way that will bring them power and dominion on earth. So their angelic partners taught them ways of divination, which included using their menstrual cycle, if you know what I mean, to do paganistic ritual. And this is also where sacrificing, little ones came from. Not only that, I'm gonna blow y'all minds right now. They taught them how to use sorcery, charms, and spells, not only with words but with music. Now if you watch my other videos, y'all know what happened to the mortal women after the great flood of Noah. If you haven't seen my videos, I'm gonna break it down for you. God cursed these women to roam the seas as sirens, aka mermaids. And just in case y'all didn't know, mermaids are not cute and pretty like Ariel, they're evil. So anyway, these sirens are part of the demonic marine kingdom that is cursed to be without dwelling until their time of judgment. Now, what was the thing that they learned from their angelic partners? Sorcery with music. What do sirens do to lure people into the water to unalive them? They sing songs that put you in a trance. Oh my gosh, did I just blow your mind? You guys just are not ready. Like, you're not ready for this. Is this not crazy? I have been going down this rabbit hole for weeks and I don't regret it. Anyway, y'all, that is the end of this video. But if you want a part 3, let me know in the comments. And as always, make sure you like and follow.
I don't know if it's just me or not, but I started to wonder. Dude said, oh no, we built this in whatever 200 years ago, and I'm like, man, y'all can't build this shit right now. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure there's pieces to tell me how this thing turned colors like it did or whatnot,
They
but
can't even build these new build homes they got around here falling, that they building out of paper mache falling apart. Like, be for real.
I don't know, man. I think these modern technologies could be lying, because I don't see them building this, considering it's the only thing like this in the area. Like, I mean, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. I ain't hating on it, but who built it? Like, tell the truth, who built it? You talking about doing World War II, spotting it from the sky and knowing your directions from it. You gonna tell me they built it in with a horse and buggy? Yo, stop playing with me.
I'm gonna make this video. I'm not gonna say nothing. Nothing. Look at me. Really look at me. Feel your fucking skin. Look at this. This is
He said I ain't gonna say nothing but continue to say stuff. That's me.
a material. What the fuck is this? What am I inside of right now? What is this material? Why can I move it like this? Like, as in rubber. I was born with it.
That's how them robots about to be. You know, they trying to make them look, the flesh look as real as possible for these, what is it, little robots that they want everybody to put their consciousness into. I don't know if I said this already in one of my previous videos, whatever, but remember I said anime be dropping gems. All this be reminding me of, hey, we finna be on this thing like Eden Zero. Y'all ever watch that anime, Eden Zero? Go check it out.
It's not man-made. My teeth. The fact that I can move this shit with my brain. My fingers. Look into my eyes. I cannot see my face. The only reason I can see my face is because I'm looking at this phone. You never can see your face. You right now, you don't know what you look like right now until you go look in the mirror or you turn your camera on your phone. I'm not saying any words right now. I'm just speaking a frequency that your mind can comprehend using English. If I was speaking Spanish right now and you don't speak Spanish, you would just be hearing gibberish. Because that's all I'm speaking right now is gibberish, but your computer can comprehend it. Ask yourself this. What the fuck is this? What the fuck are you? What the fuck is this? You go to sleep and have dreams in a made-up reality that you made with your brain. Let's run it back. What the fuck is this material that I am grabbing right now? Like, I just want to, like, make this so simple for all the people who can't comprehend my other videos. Let's just stretch this. We're on a fucking ball floating in space, and we're also inside of a fucking galaxy. You are a alien.
Yeah, technically that's true, because, you know, they talk about, oh, aliens invading if aliens come here. So, yeah, I mean, they would be aliens to us, and we would be aliens to them. Different species.
Stop normalizing this shit. Stop. Stop. I don't give a fuck what you know, what you believe in. Stop normalizing being a fucking alien and question this shit. This is insane. What the fuck is this? You're watching this video on a small ass fucking rectangle right now.
Well, I'm on a MacBook. I mean, it's not. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
With the black screen that just puts light on here so you can see what I am. and everything else. I'm talking out of a fucking mouth right now. Look at my mouth as I speak. Look at my mouth as I say everything. Is that not the weirdest shit ever? Look at my mouth. Is this shit not the weirdest shit ever that you've ever seen in your entire fucking life? I'm really not even saying nothing. If I was just talking, like, I'm not trying to be no crazy. Y'all probably think I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. That's the problem right there. You think I'm crazy because you're not questioning your own existence. Look at the veins in my hands. This shit was built. Mind you, I started as an egg this big.
I've talked to my like I said, my family already know, like, same stuff I be saying. I done already said to them, but that's another thing too. Like, see, because I'm the type of person too. I be sitting back, like, I get what he's saying. Be like, you know what I'm saying? You get to being curious and questioning stuff. Like, you look, it's the craziest thing. Literally, like I said, any civilization that would possibly come behind the human race, they will be reading our books, right? So just think about it. Speaking about, like, being able to conceive and give birth alone, that would sound unbelievable to them, right? That would sound unbelievable to them. Like, oh, these got to be fake stories. This can't be real. 'Cause that just sounds like, because you know the next species, like, what if they don't obviously conceive and give birth like we do, or whatever, right? You want to call it, because it's like, when you think about it, how does a blob, the egg and the man's, you know what I'm saying, sperm come together, penetrate it, whatever, and then you literally, like, just to simplify it, you're a blob, and then as you're growing in your mom's stomach, you continue to grow, and then you just come out a baby, a full grown, like, little baby, with, now you got, like, these fingers and toes and a mouth and eyes, from a blob. You started out as a little blob in the stomach, and then you just grow into that. Like, nobody, unless you seen it happen, you wouldn't even believe that was possible. If somebody took a blob and showed you this and said that this blob was gonna turn into what you know a baby to look like, you wouldn't believe it. Like, 'cause how is that even possible? It's crazy. Like, we already as humans be able to do we've just normalized, like, and of course it's normalized because we see it all the time, right? But we are able to do some pretty unbelievable, insane stuff already as it is. We just don't realize it because we, you know what I'm saying? We used to seeing it. We do it.
Question this shit. Cause what the fuck is this? Don't ever tell anybody they're wrong about anything. Cause you don't even know what the fuck this is. Question it, baby.
All right, y'all. That's it for today's video. So, yeah, that's it. That, y'all let me know what y'all think. It was a lot. It's a lot of different things. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And yeah, until Friday.